Thank you, everybody, for joining us. Sorry about that. Messed up my mic, but the Commanders just put the ball in the air, and we are underway here in Cincinnati. Chase Brown takes the opening kick out to the 30, and the Bengals are going to get the ball to start. Bengals need to start hot. Bengals need to start hot. There's no way around it. Thank you, chat. I know I was muted. I'm no longer muted anymore. There we go. We are in here, and we're ready to go. Burrow takes the first snap and shotgun, fires to Chase on a screen. Love getting him the ball early. He's able to fight through a few tackles for a yard. Got to get him the ball early. That's a fact, and we all know it. He's such a big piece to this offense, and only getting him, 5, 6 targets a game so far. That's just completely unacceptable. Second down and 9. Burrow drops back. Finds Yoshi. Love getting these guys active early in the passing game. We know that's how we're going to be able to beat this Commanders team. Look, they're a good run defense. They got some studs from my alma mater, Alabama. And Alabama produces talent in the trenches. There's no way around that. They've been doing it for years. Burrow runs for the first on 3rd and 2. Wonderful get for him. He's got to be creative. There we go. Got that game cast over my right shoulder for you guys. Going to make it a little easier to follow along with the game here with my pseudo play-by-play, but now 13 minutes left in the first quarter. We're ready to lock in. Zach Moss takes it for a 1-yard run there to start the rushing attack for the Bengals today. We need a big one. We need a big win tonight. There's no way to sugarcoat it. This is as must-win as a game can get. I hate to say it in week 3, but that's the truth. It's a must-win game just this early in the season, and it feels like we've been in this position just far, far too many times. Burrow hands it off to Moss again, and he's breaking through. First down, Zach Moss. That's a 10-yard run. We need more explosive plays like that for him. I know he's not going to be the home run guy. That's Chase Brown, but if he's busting off 10-yard runs like that, then this run game's in a really good spot. First down on the other side of the 50. Bengals moving the ball early in the game, which is what you love to see, but obviously they did that against Kansas City as well. Still fell short. It's a 60-minute effort. Burrow with the play action, loads up deep and fires. Jabbar! We're back! We're back! I'm wearing the 1 for a reason! 41-yard bomb! Sorry for headphone users, but what can you do when Ja'Marr Chase is back? First drive of the game, you take a shot. That's how you get rolling. That's how you get rolling. 6 plays, 71 yards, 3 minutes and 23 seconds. Let's go, man. A deep bomb touchdown to number 1? What else do you want? Look how pretty that is. That long arch. Oh, I haven't seen one of those from 9 in a long time. Hooday, baby. All right, I need to figure out, in Casey McAllister, I know you're in the chat, Do the Bengals have the touchdown song copyrighted or not? Because if the touchdown song's not copyrighted, I'm going to start playing this sucker on the stream. That's beautiful, man. That's beautiful. Kudos to, congratulations to everyone in the stadium on Ring of Honor night, primetime football, getting to sing the touchdown song real early. That's great. That's exactly what you want to see. Burton going to get some more run today, and you know that if the Bengals are taking deep shots, he's a guy that can do that. Trenton Irwin scratched before the game. He's listed as an inactive. I don't know if scratched is the right word, but listed as an inactive. Jermaine Burton's going to get some more run. I absolutely love to see that for this Bengals offense. And you see right there that they're ready to attack the explosive passing game. They're going to take more shots deep, and oh man, that's such a great feeling. Our dear friend Game Day 513 says the TD song should be for all Bengal fan use. I couldn't agree more. I think that would really take this to the next level. If we score again, which we're going to, spoiler alert, we're going to score again. And when we do, I'm going to sing. I'm going to try to a cappella sing it for you guys. I've done it enough times. I know the words. I'm going to get it done next time for you guys. That's a first play bomb touchdown. There's no way to get the juices flowing better than that. But one way to help the Bengals win is to make sure you like the stream. So thank you, everyone, for sticking around and watching this game with me. It's certainly a fun time. More fun when everyone in the chat's involved, and it's the best. But it's even better if you guys are liking the stream. So make sure you hit that thumbs up. Right below that live stream, I'm here with you from opening kickoff to final whistle with a post-game show right afterwards. Make sure you're liking the stream so we can keep doing this. Thank you, everyone, for tuning in. We got to pay that man his money. My good friend, Honest Fan. Now that the calendar's switched from baseball season to football season, my good friend, Honest Fan, we don't have to fight our fights anymore. We're back on the same page, and that page right now is paying Ja'Marr Chase. Look, I know the Bengals don't negotiate in season. I know he said that he had a deadline as well a few weeks ago, but you got to get something done. You absolutely have to get something done. He's too crucial to this team. That was 100 career TD passes for Joe Burrow. 100 career TD passes. Would love to know where he fits on the list in quickest to get there and everything like that, because you know he'd be up there, but you have to wonder about how much faster he would have got to that milestone without the injuries. Ja'Marr Chase, 12th receiving touchdown over 40 yards. That's the second most in the NFL since he got into the league. Obviously, Tyreek Hill stakes claim to those bomb touchdowns. But Ja'Marr Chase, just about as good as anyone in the game. Beautiful early lead for the Bengals. McPherson's going to boom it deep all the way through the end zone. Kicking it through the end zone, such a valuable asset with the new kickoff, not giving them the ability to return. I know they get it at the 30 now, but that new kickoff is supposed to incentivize returns, get some more big plays, and if you're able to put it through the back of the end zone, it negates that opportunity for the away or the other team. So, great move by McPherson there. That new kickoff is absolutely disgusting. They told us we were going to get more kickoffs, more touchdowns. I just see a lot more squibs to get it into the landing zone, and a lot of guys booming it out the back of the end zone. It's not as fun as I expected it to be or hoped it would be, to quite honesty. Hooday, everybody. That's right. Defense's first shot. Let's look as good as the offense looks. Rookie quarterback in there. Lou loves to put him in a blender. Hands off to the veteran running back, Austin Eckler. And, this rushing attack really takes a lot off of Jaden Daniels' shoulders. It really does take a lot off of Jaden Daniels' shoulders. He doesn't have to do a whole lot. Cam Taylor-Britt said it earlier in the week. This is a college offense, a really good college offense from Cliff Kingsbury. And a lot of people said that was a shot from him. But I don't think it was. I think it's just he watches the tape and he recognized that it is a college offense. When you have a rookie quarterback, dumbing it down a little bit isn't always the worst thing. He's looked pretty good through the first 2 weeks. 1-1 record, obviously. Running the ball a lot. Molly, welcome. Welcome to the chat. Happy to see you. This is a Bengals stream, no Reds manager talk, so we're good to go. Bengals defense out there, obviously, without Sheldon Rankins and B.J. Hill today, incredibly thin on the D-line against a rushing attack. It's been one of the more dominant rushing attacks in the NFL so far this season, but able to stuff Brian Robinson there. A great play by Jermaine Pratt. These running backs have really taken a step so far, and that's phenomenal. Absolutely phenomenal to see them take that step. Jay Tufella and Zach Carter are in there in the middle of the defensive line with Hubbard and Hendrickson on the outside. Quick screen pass to Austin Eckler, who slips through the defense. Certainly looked like the Bengals got to tackle. Got to tackle, man. Slips through the defense, gets a first down, but Bengals had a shot at him in the backfield. You just have to make those plays. You saw Sam Hubbard with an opportunity. Jermaine Pratt gets knocked away. Another missed tackle, couldn't make out the number, and then Trey Hendrickson ends up chasing him down. Just can't have that. You should have the Commanders backed up now. Instead, it's 1st and 10 from 40 going into the end zone. Limited pass rush. Jaden Daniels has all time back there, but he scrambles anyway. He's looking to run, gets around Jermaine Pratt, but fingertip tackle gets Jaden Daniels off balance and knocks him out of bounds. But we're going to need more from this pass rush. He's able to sit back there and just relax, it seems like. Not going to be a recipe for success for this team against the Commanders, but especially against much better offenses with better developing plays and quarterbacks that can go through progressions. I don't know how much I really respect Jaden Daniels' ability to go to his, third, fourth read or whatever. But hey, he's driving right now. 2nd and 3, inside the 35, hands the ball off. Stuffed by 52, and if I remember correctly, that's our dear friend. Oh no, that's Cedric Johnson. Never mind, I take it back. And John Gametta's 45, my bad. Little brain fart, but there we see Cedric Johnson in there for his debut. That NFL Premier patch on his chest lets you know it's his first game he's been active for. That's a great tackle. That's a guy I was really, really excited to see in the preseason. Looked really good at a lot of different points. I remember co-host you'll see after the game, Craig Sandlin and I watching the Colts preseason game together, and Cedric had a great game there, and he's been active for the first few weeks, but great to see him getting in the action. Then a sack for the Bengals defense. Not sure if it's going to be a sack. He might have got back to the line of scrimmage, but regardless, 4th down for the Commanders. Jay Tufele, Jermaine Pratt meet at the quarterback, bring him down right at or close behind the line of scrimmage. The Commanders are going to be forced to kick a field goal on their first drive. Going to be just about a 50-yard field goal. Fourth and 2, the Commanders are going for it early in this game. I like when my underdogs play like underdogs, but not against my team. Jaden Daniels has all day again, fires and finds Luke McCaffrey across the middle, and he reaches. Is he able to score? Down. You got to play better defense. Just because you get a 3rd down stop doesn't mean you're off the field. You have to get a better defense. Pushed out of bounds by Geno Stone. Out right about the 2-yard line. Out at the 2-yard line for Luke McCaffrey. McCaffrey's a rookie I really liked coming out of Rice in this draft, but certainly don't like to see him there. Bengals making a change. Dax Hill, Von Bell, Geno Stone come into the game, and Akeem Davis-Gaither runs out the back of the end zone, so it's going to be an illegal substitution on the Bengals. How does that happen? You got to count to 11. It's not hard to count to 11. Counting to 10 is the baseline for intelligence. And it's just one more number. Doesn't seem like our defense can do that early tonight. It's going to be 1st and goal from the 1-yard line. Bengals defense great at bending and not breaking. Going to need 3 stops from the 1 here and hope they kick a field goal. Crowded up around the line of scrimmage. Handoff to Brian Robinson, who battles at the goal line. No signal yet. Short! Good stop, defense. Great stop, defense. 0 push. Lawrence Guy in there. Preventing the Commanders' O-line from getting a push. If they stopped him, they truly did stop him there. You can't get much closer than Brian Robinson did. A great short yardage running back. Handoff again up the gut. Stuffed! Mike Hilton, the best blitzing nickel in the league, strikes again, gets through the line, cuts him down behind the line of scrimmage, but there is a flag on the play. Jermaine Pratt lines up off sides. Second down, but as our wonderful friends in the chat point out, not a very meaningful penalty as they're already on the one. It's half the distance to the goal. Let's just not line up off sides, guys. Look down the line of scrimmage, see the ball, and don't line up off sides. How hard is that to do? Let's count to 11 and not line up off sides. Handoff again up the gut, and Brian Robinson's going to score. Untouched. Brian Robinson touchdown. Hey, you knew the Commanders were going to be able to run the ball. You knew they were going to be able to run the ball. 10 plays, 70 yards, 6-minute drive for the Commanders. Bengals had opportunities to get off the field. Just could not get stops on defense. Couldn't tackle again. A lot of the same issues we've seen for the first 2 weeks on that first drive for the Bengals defense, but just about 10 minutes into the game, my only takeaway is that this offense looks great. Joe Burrow bombed Jamar Chase on our first drive. The Commanders able to tie it up 7-7 pending this extra point. And it's good. 7-7. Great point by Chase in our chat here on YouTube. Both teams executed the scripted plays, and that's exactly what you expect from NFL teams. You execute scripted plays. The Commanders did that. You'd love to get a stop there, but we'll see how they can. We'll see how they can handle a non-scripted offense. Joe Burrow and Jaden Daniels, Heisman-winning quarterbacks at LSU over the last few years. Those two talked pregame about their relationship together, how they've talked to each other about playing in the NFL, about time at LSU. Both transfers in at the end of their careers for 2 years. Two special players. I think Jaden Daniels is poised to be a good quarterback in this league for some time. I'm really high on a lot of the rookies in the league right now, mostly this rookie quarterback class. We need more out of this defense. That was way too easy. You're giving 7 yards of play to an offense that was not supposed to be even remotely close to competitive this year. Need more out of the defense. But can't ask for much more out of the offense, and that was obviously the worry. Looking around the league now, while we're still on a commercial break, a doubleheader on Monday night as the Jags are also taking on the Bills elsewhere tonight. Josh Allen rolling early, 172 passing yards, 2 touchdowns, and 20 on the ground. A touchdown to James Cook and Dalton Kincaid early in this game. It's 20-3. The Bills are drumming the Jags with 4 minutes to go in that first half, and Trevor Lawrence just 50% completion, 7 of 14 for 40 yards and a pick already in that game. Not pretty. Not pretty for the former first overall pick, I should say. Back here in Cincinnati. Seibert last week, the Commanders put up 21 points, but not the way you expect. Seibert had 7 field goals to amount to that 21 points. 7 field goals for Austin Seibert last week. Hopefully, we can start holding the Commanders to field goals this week as well. A great tackle on special teams for number 33 on the Commanders. A phenomenal play, but Chase Brown continues to be exciting as the returner. He's just a beat away from getting a step in space, and we know what he can do in space. I really like him back there. Damar Hamlin interception. Wow. Trevor Lawrence throwing a pick to Damar Hamlin. Impressive. 1st and 10 from the 23-yard line for the Bengals. Handoff up the gut. Chase Brown able to get it out to about the 30. It's going to be 2nd and 3 for the Bengals. Chase Brown back at a speed flex after wearing a Rydell Axiom to start this year. There you see Jordan Battle on the sideline over Zach Taylor's shoulder. And man, I just want to see more of him. I think he can give so much to this defense. Even in limited reps, I would just love to see him out there. But Von Bell banged up in practice, but able to go this week. It was great to see. You love to be healthy regardless of if the guys you prefer starting are starting or not. Health is always the most important thing, and having most of our guys out there is great. There's another handoff to Chase Brown, who can't quite get the first down, but it's going to be 3rd and short inside of a yard. Third and 1, inside 1 for the Bengals. Eric All in motion. Tanner Hudson been inactive since week 1. It seems like the 3 tight end rotation of All, Sample, and Gesicki is what the Bengals are going to roll with. Zach Moss, great short yardage back, continues to get the job done when asked. Converts the 3rd and 1, gets out to about the 40. First down for the Bengals. 6 rushes and 3 passes through 9 plays so far today. 3 for 3 for Burrow, 50 yards and a touchdown. That's the stuff I'm talking about. No dink and dunk. Jamar Chase in the backfield. Love hunting mismatches for him. And Burrow finds him across the middle in great space, able to get out to the 50 on first down. Jamar Chase looks like he's back, folks. Looks like he's back. That's exactly what we wanted to see. If we remember 2 years ago, actually, correct that, last year for the Bengals, Jamar Chase started slow. And certainly not because of a contract holdout or anything like that. A completely normal offseason for Jamar Chase. Last year, obviously, Burrow banged up, and the Bengals started slow because of that. But Jamar Chase last year, 39 yards and 31 yards in the first 2 weeks, before having 15 targets, 12 catches, and over 140 yards in week 3. Hopefully we can see the same thing today, and a great start for him. Swings it to Eric All on first down for no gain. It's going to be 2nd and 10 for the Bengals offense. The broadcast running a bit on the double coverage Jamar faced last week in Kansas City, and how we're not seeing it this week. That's true single coverage and a rookie corner, Mike Sainristil, out of Michigan on the outside on that touchdown, and Joe Burrow just knows to attack that. If you get Jamar Chase in single coverage, especially with a rookie corner, you go after him. 2nd and 10 right across the 50 for the Bengals. Burrow drops back in the shotgun. Good pressure, and he's able to find Zach Moss, who juggles the ball and then loses his footing. Awkward play, but able to make the catch and bring up a 3rd and manageable for the Bengals offense. Have to wonder how aggressive the Bengals are going to be today. 3rd and 4. T. Higgins out there for the first time this year. Mike Gesicki wide, top of your screen. Jamar Chase in the slot. T. Higgins at the bottom. T. quiet so far in his debut today. Burrow looks, and there he is! Spoke too soon. He breaks the tackle, and he keeps going down inside the 30. Ball pops out. Commander's signaling they have it, but the refs rule him down. Great play, T. First down, Bengals. Burrow not thrilled with dropping the ball at the end. They're looking to go hurry up so they can't get a review in. That's what I'm talking about attacking double coverage. You had the safety stacked over Jamar Chase there, Jermaine Burton on the outside, one-on-one, and you take advantage. Bengal get the hike off. Can't review the potential fumble, and it's going to be 2nd and 11 after a swing pass to Chase Brown. Loses about a yard, but important to get that snap off right away. Didn't want to potentially lose a big play with T. Higgins on 3rd down. 2nd and 11 with 20 seconds left in the first quarter. Bengals could run out this first quarter. 8 for 8, 85 yards and a touchdown for Burrow. Just a phenomenal start. Exactly what you wanted to see. After a great week last week, really putting that week 1 lackluster performance in the rearview mirror. Incomplete pass on 2nd and 11 to end the first quarter, but we'll take it. 7-7. 1 drive each in the first quarter for the Bengals and the Commanders. A big play, touchdown from Joe Burrow to Jamar Chase, which is what Bengals fans everywhere wanted to see. Then a pretty easy drive for the Commanders offense, but as our incredibly knowledgeable chat points out, it's always easy to run scripted plays. So we'll see how the Commanders can bounce back later in the game when they have to get off script. Look, I'm pretty happy with that first quarter. I know the Bengals defense leaves a lot to be desired, but you get Jamar Chase on some streak touchdowns, some deep ball touchdowns, and this Bengals team's going to be really hard to beat. This Bengals team's going to be really hard to beat if this offense gets rolling. What have we said all offseason? This is a year that fans everywhere wanted us to go all in, really wanted the Bengals to attack that Super Bowl this year with the last year, presumably, of T. Higgins being in stripes, Jamar Chase still on a cheaper deal, Joe Burrow already locked up, but those big-time cap hits aren't rolling in yet. This year the Bengals had to go all in, and part of that was because we had so many weapons on offense, and now they're back, and it looks like Jamar's playing like it with T back in the lineup. The defenses can't just lock in on him. Hopefully this offense can keep rolling. Joe Burrow, no balls touching the dirt yet. All complete passes so far today. A lot of gripes in the chat here about the screen pass calls, and I understand that they're not pretty, but that's how you can set up a lot of those deep shots. I'm very okay with the Bengals utilizing that outside speed and those weapons by using those little behind the line or even short flat passes, screen passes and flats and swings and all the stuff like that as just an extension of the run game. Use those short passes to eat up some easy completions. I know you're throwing the ball, but use it as a run. Just make sure you get a few yards, keep the clock rolling, everything like that. I think it's a great part of the Bengals game, and it sets up a lot of the downfield work. That's what makes this offense so special. We don't need Super Bowl 56 flashbacks on the screen, ESPN, please. Please spare me. Please spare me. 3 carries for 20 yards for Zach Moss. Love that. Brown or Moss? A lot of people are asking the question, and I know it's a big one that people want Chase Brown because of the explosiveness, but I think Zach Moss is just so much more consistent. He's a better short yardage runner. He's a much better blocker. I think with what the Bengals want to do, deep ball to Mike Gesicki, broken up. He looks shaken up on the play. So slow to get up, but run it back. Running back to the huddle. 4th and 11. McPherson's going to try to knock it through. It's going to be about a 47-yard field goal. A good ball from Burrow, just needs to be a little bit more out in front. A tough play for Gesicki, no matter how you slice it. Not saying anything yet, but a good stat on the screen. 48-yard attempt for McPherson. And he hooks it. No good. That's what I didn't want to say before he kicked it. They put up the graphic, 5 for 5 this year. That's what we call an announcer's jinx, folks. That's frustrating. That's frustrating. Kickers miss kicks. But, man, that's frustrating. Offense continues to look all right. It's getting into scoring position again. Obviously, you want 7. You don't want to be in a position where you can miss a field goal, but that's one that you usually chalk up as a gimme for Evan McPherson, and he just pushes it. God, that stinks. You got to capitalize on your scoring opportunities. You can't miss field goals. McPherson proving he's no Butker. Friendly reminder, Butker missed an extra point in their last game. I know McPherson does that his fair amount too. But even the best kickers miss. Justin Tucker, 3 misses so far this year, 2 from beyond 50, 1 from just inside. That stinks. That's the kind of stuff that kills momentum too. Not being able to capitalize when you have a chance to score, when you have a chance where you already have the points in your mind. And that's really the big thing. If you're kicking a 60-yard field goal or something along those lines, then sure, you don't necessarily chalk those up when he runs out there. But a kick like that, a kick from that distance, about 45, just over 45 yards, you absolutely need to make that. And you know when Joe Burrow jogged off the field there on 4th down, he thought he had 3 more points on the board. He thought it was a 10-7 lead, and that's not the case, and that's going to get in the guys' heads. And you don't want any added pressure, and that's just all that is. Just barely underway here in the 4th quarter. The Bills second quarter, still in the first half here. The Bills are just rolling. 27-23 for the Bills. Josh Allen, maybe in a tier of his own. That guy's pretty stinking good. Commanders offense back on the field. I see a lot of our friends in the chat here begging for a turnover, and couldn't be more timely than right now. Trey Hendrickson strip sack sounds right up my alley. Another run for the Commanders, and Brian Robinson able to get over 5 yards, just pulling the pile. We really miss these D linemen, folks. No Rankins, no BJ Hill. The D line's a problem when healthy. Even bigger problem when you're banged up. You have Lawrence Guy in there, who I expect to be a very helpful player for us, but hasn't been in yet this year. Picked him up off the couch earlier this week. Daniels rolls out, chased by Davis Gaither, who's able to... Daniels stays in bounds, forces a missed tackle from ADG. I mean, you just got to make plays. You absolutely have to make plays. How do you miss that tackle? How do you miss that tackle? First and 10 for the Commanders, just on the other side of the 50, still on their side of the field. Jane Daniels hands it off again, and this one is stuffed. Little measure of revenge for the Bengals defense. Jermaine Pratt, Lawrence Guy, and others in the backfield bringing down Brian Robinson. Yeah, this defense's tackling is a problem. Tackling is a problem yet again. Second and 10 after the first down run gets stuffed. Daniels drops back to pass. A low ball that's grabbed by a Bengals villain, Noah Brown. If you remember the Texans' loss last year for this Bengals team, Noah Brown was open all day long and absolutely dominated this Bengals defense. Hopefully, first and one of the last catches for Brown today. It's a good ball by Jaden Daniels. He's a good quarterback, folks. He's a really good quarterback. Dax Hill in coverage there. You just got to be closer. Noah Brown has the Bengals number. He dominated this team last year, hopefully. Number 2 receiver in this Commanders offense after they traded Jahan Dotson last year. Good pressure. Daniels is forced to chuck it deep. Lands in the end zone with Terry McLaurin, the closest receiver, on just like the 10-yard line. Terry McLaurin open. Definitely open, but Daniels just sails it because great pressure by Trey Hendrickson. Puts a shoulder in his chest. Does a good job pulling up. Has to not land on him and get a penalty. Commanders used their first timeout of the first half with 12:15 left here before halftime. That was a touchdown if Daniels is able to make that throw. That is a touchdown. Geno Stone fell down. Terry McLaurin was running free, but luckily for Bengals, about a 15-yard overthrow for the Commanders' rookie quarterback. All right, folks. Bengals need to stop. Bengals need to score. Got to be winning this game at halftime. Can't drag our feet, can't slow down. Got to be winning this game at halftime. Bills are playing a lackluster team in the Jags, and they're putting the foot on the gas and proving that they're a contender. I want the Bengals to do the same. Still very, very early, but got to put your foot on the gas at some point. Missed field goals and poor tackling doesn't lead me to believe that you're planning on doing that anytime soon. Sir Boy Wonder says he might have underestimated how bad this Bengals defense is, and Sir Boy, I hope you're wrong on that front. I felt pretty confident in this defense after last week, obviously, except for that last play, questionable call on Dejon Anthony, but I thought this defense played really well last week. Still got ran all over for the most part, but much better than week 1, and seems like we're reverting back to a little bit of the old here early in this game. I have a lot of worries about this defense, just personnel-wise. I don't think it's necessarily a lot of issues you can fix right away. I think this is stuff that's going to be issues with this team for a while now. And we're going to have to attack it in the draft and with free agency. And we just need to score 30. A little easier said than done, but when you pay your quarterback $50 million, when you're going to pay your wide receiver $40 million and whatever else, you got to be able to put up points on offense because you're not going to have money for defense. So 30 is a good point. You're not going to lose a lot of games scoring 30 in the NFL. Defense out of your 2nd and 10 from the 35. Commanders trying to take the lead here after a Bengals touchdown on the first drive and then a missed field goal. Trey Hendrickson falls down after a good jump. Daniels able to find McCaffrey again across the middle for another first down. This Commanders offense is moving the ball very easily. First and 10 for the Commanders inside the 25. And this defense still can't tackle. Austin Eckler breaks a few tackles around the line of scrimmage, busts away for a touchdown. The Commanders are going to take a 14-7 lead early in this one. 24-yard touchdown for Austin Eckler. This guy's let go by the Chargers because he's washed. And then he breaks tackles the line of scrimmage, goes basically untouched until right at the end when Geno Stone's able to push him into the end zone. That's unacceptable. This is a guy who said he doesn't want carries. This is a guy who said he can't be a number one running back in an offense, and you let him score right there with ease. 2 very easy-looking drives for the Commanders. Very, very easy. 14-7. That's just sad. That's just sad. That's just sad. Does this defense want it? Because they don't play like they want it. You have to be better. Defense just has to be better. These drives are far too easy. And it's everybody. It's 3 games. I mean, we're not even halfway into this one. We're 3 games, almost 2.5 games into the season, and we can't tackle. You can't get the ultimate goal if you can't tackle. This team wants to win a Super Bowl. You got to learn how to tackle. God. We need more burst on this defense. We need something. It's just not enough. It's a step slow every time. And it's every position. A lot of Hubbard talk in the chat, and I'm about as out on Hubbard as anyone. He's been terrible through the first 2 weeks, and he looks terrible tonight. We need Myles Murphy back bad, and we need Myles Murphy to contribute right away. He needs to be a plug-and-play guy, and the good news for the Bengals is the level at which he has to play at in order to increase this Bengals pass rush is not very high. Other than Trey Hendrickson, the pass rush absolutely stinks. So we're not asking for too much out of Myles Murphy. This isn't a situation where we need a guy to be a top 10 edge rusher in the league or double sacks or anything like double-digit sacks or anything like that. We need a guy to come in and be league average, and that's going to help. That's going to help a ton because we've been terrible. Terrible. Outside of Trey Hendrickson when it comes to rushing the passer. Back here in the second quarter, down 7 are the Bengals at home on prime time. $34-3 for Buffalo. Just dominance. One day I want to see the same thing from the Bengals. Commanders send it deep. Chase Brown's going to take it from the goal line, try to make something happen. He nets about a yard. Bengals are going to start from the 31. This Commanders offense is just whooping this defensive line. Whooping this defensive line. Burrow drops back to pass again, finds Zach Moss, short of the first down sticks, but able to get about 8. Bengals are still favorites on the live bet, 2.5-point favorites. Amarius Mims in as an extra lineman at the bottom of your screen. NFL debut for the Bengals' first-round pick. Gets great push, still blocking there across the 45. Love to see the mammoth Amarius Mims out there. Bengals' first-round pick from Georgia. going to be the right tackle of the future. Lined up next to Trent Brown. That's got to be the biggest duo in the NFL. Great push from Mims. Could not be more excited about his future here in Cincinnati. 6'8", 350 pounds. 22 years old, SEC talent. Great player who I think is going to be crucial for this team for many, many years to come. Hand off to Chase Brown, who's able to break free. 10, 12, 13, almost 15 yards there for Chase Brown. First down for the Bengals as the Commanders shove his head into the turf after the run. A little feisty there. Something to keep an eye on maybe as this game progresses. Washington versus Cincinnati. Not two teams you usually think would have bad blood, but very interesting play there. That was definitely illegal. Jermaine Burton and Jamar Chase, the two receivers in the game, with Sample and all as well. Chase Brown behind Burrow in the shotgun. It's a play-action pass. Burrow fires to Chase Brown in the flat, who's able to turn the corner and get some good yards. 8-yard catch and run for the second-year player out of Illinois. And when you watch Chase Brown get in there with some kind of consistency and be able to work a little bit, I really do understand why people want more reps out of him. I get it. He's a good player. He has a lot of burst that not a lot of other guys have. The ability to hit the home run is phenomenal. But I do just think Zach Moss's consistency at this level and the pass pro ability is going to keep him in that more snaps role. But Chase Brown stays in the game here. That's the beautiful thing about having two running backs and no true number one is you have the ability to ride the hot hand. Chase Brown's stuff there gains about half the distance on second down. It's going to be 3rd and 1. Deron Payne, Jonathan Allen in there. Great defensive front for this Commanders team. I would kill to have a guy like that in Cincinnati. We talk about the lack of interior depth, and the Commanders have two of the best in the game. It couldn't be more different than the setup we currently have in Cincinnati. Zach Moss lined up behind Burrow. Eric All in motion. Play action pass. Burrow finds All for the first down. Juggles the catch, but able to bring it in out to the 25-yard line. I really like Eric All, man. I really, really like Eric All. Tight end factory is exactly right, Joe Buck. Tight end factory is exactly right. Nothing works better than an Iowa tight end, and the Bengals got their own. Hopefully he's able to blossom into what we've seen a lot of these other guys be able to do. Sam Laporta in Detroit, obviously a great rookie year last year, and then you have, TJ Hawkinson, Noah Fant, George Kittle, all the way back to Dallas Clark. Great tight ends out of Iowa. Hopefully the Bengals get lucky and have the next one. Commanders bring pressure. Burrow fires across the middle. Mike Gesicki, never know when that ball hits his hands if he'll be able to hold on, but he does there. Bengals inside the 10-yard line. Going to be 1st and goal as the clock ticks down here in the second quarter to about 7 minutes. 1st and goal for the Bengals. Great throw and catch from Burrow to Gesicki. We saw a glimpse of it last week. More than a glimpse. Almost a 100-yard receiving game for 88 at the tight end position. And I know he doesn't bring a whole lot in the blocking game, and that's why a lot of people weren't too thrilled when we signed him. He's kind of a one-trick pony, but if you do that trick really well, then it works for me, and I think Mike does that trick really well. He's a great receiver, one of the best receiving tight ends in the league. Burrow, contact in the pocket, able to shake loose, but inevitably grabbed and brought down by the Commanders' defense. Dante Fowler, former first-round pick, and Trent Brown is down. Trent Brown is down. Looks like a lower body injury. Look, it's never good when someone gets hurt. It's never good when someone gets hurt. If there's a player on this Bengals team that they can withstand an injury of, it's Trent Brown, because you drafted his replacement in the 1st round. Now that means you have no wiggle room for an Amarius Mims injury, and we know injuries with him have been an issue through college and an issue through the preseason as he missed the first few games. But I'm thrilled thrilled that we picked him, thrilled to have him on the Bengals, and I'm really excited for his career. And if it gets started tonight, it gets started tonight. Maybe Trent Brown never gets that spot back, and we see Mims in there for the next 15 years. That would be awesome. That would be the goal, obviously. So maybe a sneak peek into the future tonight. Hopefully Trent Brown's all right. Hopefully he can get back up, get healthy. All the scans and everything are negative. We can get him back out there because it's incredible how good an offensive line can be with 3 good tackles. The wiggle room is great, but obviously don't have that if a guy gets hurt. Great timing for Trent Brown, though. If he was going to go down now that Mims is healthy. If he would have went down last week or the week before, we would have been in some serious trouble. So, Marius Mims, step in, step up. Guys, the game's not going great so far. Down 7 for the Bengals. Trent Brown down on the field hurt as we went to commercial break. If I know anything about how to turn this game around, it's liking the stream. So thank you, everyone, for tuning in. We got over 50 people watching live right now. Thank you so much, everyone, for tuning in on YouTube, tuning in on Twitter, wherever you're watching. Thank you. We appreciate it. But make sure you like the stream. Make sure you like the stream. Tap that thumbs up button. Get those likes up, and that'll bring the Bengals home a win. That's all we know. We don't know much here on Chatterbox Bengals, but we do know that likes equal Bengals wins. So we need to get those likes numbers up so we can lock in a Bengals win here. Updates from the chat. Trent Brown getting carted off as we cut back to the stadium now. Cart is on the field. Trent Brown loaded up. Leg elevated. Certainly not pretty. A one-on-one pass rush here for Trent Brown. He just resets his feet, plants, and then his leg immediately gives out. Not a good sign at all. Those seemingly non-contact injuries where your body just gives up on you. Not good. Not good. Yeah, yes, Molly. I'm not going to read that question on air, but yes, that is correct. Marius Mims in there now. Marius Mims, right tackle for the Bengals. His rookie debut today. Knew we'd see him in some jumbo sets, but now he's out there at right tackle. Burrow sacked on the play before. 2nd and goal from the 14-yard line. Mims, one-on-one gets spun, but it's a run play. Zach Moss up inside the 10-yard line to the 9. 3rd and goal from the 9. Longer than you'd like, but nice of Zach Moss to gain some yards back, make this a little bit more manageable. 14-7. Bengals scored on the first drive on a deep ball to Jamar Chase. McPherson missed a field goal on the second drive. Nine-play, 61-yard drive so far. Burrow in the shotgun. Zach Moss lined up next to him. Jamar Chase at the bottom of your screen, a guy we've come to know in these situations. Burrow throws behind a double-covered Yoshivas. It's going to be 4th and goal from inside the 10. Redemption chance for Money Mac. Big extension this offseason for the Bengals franchise kicker, and a guy that has some misses in the regular season for sure, but when it matters most, always he bangs it through. A guy I love having at that position here in Cincinnati. Feels good to have a kicker you believe in, and 28-yard attempt. Certainly believe in him here. Missed a 48-yard attempt earlier. McPherson lines up to boot it through. And he does. Boom. Right down Broadway. 4-point deficit now for the Bengals. 14-10. Commanders in front, and they're about to get the ball back. Not the greatest start for the Bengals. Don't love settling for 3. Don't love 2 easy touchdown drives for the Commanders so far. Can't have it. Can't have it. Got to toughen up here. Look, I don't want to downplay Trent Brown's injury because we obviously signed him to be a big part of this team, but I think this team's so much better with Marius Mims out there. We'll see some growing pains from the rookie right tackle. He doesn't have many starts in his career under his belt, but We've had the argument time and time again on Chatterbox Off the Bench, 10 a to 12 p every day live on YouTube. Come check us out. But we've had the debate time and time again about whether or not Amarius Mims is a project. I think we're going to see some growing pains from a young rookie who hasn't started many games, but I definitely don't think he's a project. I think he's a guy who's more or less ready to go right now. We're not going to see a lot of new technique or anything. He's a plug-and-play guy who's going to be a dominant right tackle, and you're going to have some rookie mistakes, as any rookie has, but I could not be higher on Amarius Mims coming into this season. And now, with Trent Brown being carted off, don't want to project on injuries, but certainly didn't look good, could be out for an extended period of time. It's great to have Amarius Mims healthy because we know Joe Burrow can get the job done with a lackluster O-line. A less than good O-line. He's still able to get to a Super Bowl. We've seen it before, but who knows what the ceiling is for that guy when he has a top-shelf O-line, and I certainly think we have one this year with Trent Brown or with Mims at right tackle, and Mims much, much better than Brown, at least from what I saw through 2 weeks for Trent Brown. It's hard for me to think he can be much worse, but the depth is crucial, so hopefully Trent Brown can get healthy and be back in the lineup or on the bench very, very soon. It's halftime in Buffalo as the Jaguars are down 34-3. 247 first-half passing yards for Josh Allen, 4 passing touchdowns, and 22 yards on the ground. James Cook continues to cook. 20 yards on the ground on just 6 carries, a touchdown, and then 48 through the air as well. He's a special player. This is a running attack that the Bills' offense hasn't had in really ever. With Josh Allen at quarterback. This isn't something we've been accustomed to with them. He's been their rushing attack. And now with James Cook's emergence, the Bills are a very, very scary team. A lot of people wrote them off, me included to some degree, in the preseason. But Josh Allen's just that good. James Cook just that good. Joe Brady, hell of an offensive coordinator. And the Bills are rolling. Looking 3-0, square in the face. Bengals try to avoid the exact opposite fate, 0-3. As they kick the ball back off to the Commanders. A great tackle there from Jong Meta, the undrafted rookie out of Wisconsin. A lot of people in the chat clamoring to get him some reps on defense. And you know how you do that? The easiest way to do that is to make plays on special teams. And there's a big one right there. Great tackle flying down the field on kickoff. A little bit different, obviously, making plays on kickoff now. Not nearly as long to run, but a great, great play by Jong Meta. That's why he's on the team. As an undrafted linebacker, when you have 2 guys that you've already locked up for the Bengals in Logan Wilson and Jermaine Pratt, you need guys that'll be able to contribute elsewhere. And that's why Akeem Davis-Gaither's been here for so long, because he's a special teams god. And maybe Jong Meta can do a lot of the same. First down pass, Jaden Daniels swings it out to Noah Brown on a bubble screen. It's going to be second and about 5. For the Commanders. Zach Carter, Jay Tufele still in the middle of that fake double reverse, missed tackle by Tufele, and Von Bell able to bring him down to force third and about 1 or 2 depending on the spot. Jaden Daniels just not flustered whatsoever. I know a lot of handoffs, a lot of easy passes so far, but rookie quarterback walking around smiling in between plays, yucking it up, laughing, having a good time. Not what you want to see. You're supposed to be able to get into these guys' heads and really make them have not a good time as in their young career. But Daniels seemingly relaxed almost halfway into his 3rd game. 3rd and 1 would be a huge stop. Bengals get contact behind the line of scrimmage, but unable to get the stop. Yet another example of the Bengals getting contact behind the line to gain. Brian Robinson, Ramondre Stevenson, Isaiah Pacheco insert the running back this defense has played, and they're able to fall forward and get the first down. Broadcast cuts away to Sheldon Rankins, and rightfully so. Missing these D tackles is terrible for us. It's a matchup nightmare against a team that runs the ball a lot. They don't ask Jaden Daniels to do much, and everything they're asking him to do right now is open and easy to attack. Daniels in the shotgun, Eckler next to him. It's a play-action pass. No pressure as Daniels stands back there. He's able to scamper for 6 yards. 2nd and 4. He has all day to throw. all day to throw. No pressure whatsoever. This defensive front is terrible. How often can you ask the secondary to hold up for that long? You just can't. Everyone's covered. And Daniels has all day to stand back there and pass. 2nd and 5, 6 of 7 for 84 passing yards, 16 rushing yards for Daniels so far today. 2nd and 5 as he drops back to throw again. Tons of time. He loads up, fires deep, and he has McLaurin down inside the 5. 56-yard bomb from the rookie Jaden Daniels to the Ohio State Buckeye product, Terry McLaurin. Just a quick single break move, and he gets over top of Cam Taylor-Britt. There's no way to spin zone that into anyone else's fault except for CTB not being able to run with 17. And Terry McLaurin gets open deep over top, and they get it done. A bomb to Terry McLaurin, and the Commanders are lined up for 1st and goal. Handed off to Brian Robinson. No, it's a keeper for Jaden Daniels, and it's going to be a touchdown. This defense is bad. This defense is really bad. This defense is bad. (21-10) Commanders, 4 seconds away from the first half, 2-minute warning. We need more from everyone on defense. Defense is a joke. Absolute joke defensively. I don't know who to blame anymore for this defense. I mean, Terry just stacks Cam Taylor-Britt like it's nobody's business. That's supposed to be our number one corner, our bona fide lockdown, shutdown number one guy. Terry's a great player, I understand, but 7 of 8, 140 yards passing, 20 on the ground, and a rushing touchdown. For Jaden Daniels, a lot of people in the chat worried about 0-3. Just a friendly reminder, only one team in the history of the NFL has made the playoffs after starting 0-3. Two-minute warning, 21-10, Commanders. Just unacceptable from the defense so far. Just absolutely unacceptable. The run defense is so bad. It's so bad. It's so bad. And if the safeties are going to look this bad, how do you not play Jordan Battle? So much is so bad right now. So much is so bad. Commanders' offense is not supposed to be good. And they're just moving the ball at will. I'm going to check the live money line, and I honestly don't know why at this point. It's just flushing money away. I mean, what could be more brutal than this here? Look, it's not the offense. It's not the offense. The offense has put 13 points on the board here. McPherson missed a kick, and obviously you'd like to capitalize in the red zone, but Darren Wright in the chat bringing up my nightmare. It's okay, everyone. We play Dalton next week. Oh, boy. Oh, boy, that scares me. Oh, man. It can't look much worse than it's looked. 158. Burrow drops back to pass. He fires across the middle of the field. Finds Chase across the 40. Stuck by number 11 on the Commanders' defense. Look, that's a good play. That's a good play across the middle of the field. Just full transparency with the chat. I can't get out. I can't get out on this team. I did just go take Bengals live money line. It's plus money. They're plus 2.5, but I don't need those points. I took the live money line. We're getting out of here with a win. We waited too long for this season to start. We waited too long for this season to start, for it to end 3 weeks in. 21-10, Bengals down 11. Minute 24 have a chance to get some points on the board here before the half, and they hand it off to Zach Moss, who gets stuffed in the backfield but breaks away. Burrow throws a great block. Zach Moss, 10-yard first down. That play set up by a backside seal by Joe Burrow. Is your $55 million quarterback? Is your $55 million quarterback throwing edge-setting blocks? No. I didn't think so. Hell yeah, 9. Get in there and get dirty. No one wants to win more than him. That's beautiful. Oh, yeah, 9. Nothing fires me up like my quarterback throwing a backside seal block. That is beautiful. Come on, offense. Let's capitalize. Minute 13 here to get some points on the board. Down 11. Burrow hands off again to Moss. Held up in the backfield. Tried to... Can't do it. Gain of 2. It's going to be 2nd and 8. Clock ticks under a minute. Bengals still have all 3 timeouts here. Going from the 25-yard line, trying to get some points on the board. We get a timeout by the Commanders defense. 53 seconds to go here in the first half. 2nd and 8 for the Bengals from the 25-yard line. I can't say it's been pretty this first half, but getting some points on the board here would certainly feel good. Would certainly feel good. Oh, this is making me nervous. Under a minute. Burrow 13 of 16 for 150 yards and a touchdown so far today. 2nd and 8 from the 25-yard line. As the Bengals try to cut into this 11-point Commanders lead before the half. Got to get 7 here. Cannot settle for 3. Burrow drops back to pass. Some early pressure, but he finds All, who's able to kind of hurdle, juke, combo move and get around to close to the marker. Will they give him a first down? If they do, a truly great play by All to get the line to gain, and they do. 1st and 10 for the Bengals. Great play by Eric All to make a man miss and get the extra yards. That's exactly what you got to see. Honest fan, welcome to the club. I love Eric All too. He's really special. He's the best all-around tight end on this team, and I don't think that's a crazy take to say. Drew Sample, great blocker. Mike Gesicki, great receiver. But if you want a tight end a full all-around number one, don't worry about it tight end, I think we might have one in Eric All. I hope as his career progresses, as he continues to get comfortable with the playbook and everything along those lines, that he'll be able to carve out an even bigger role in this offense, because I think he's a really special player. Bengals outgaining the Commanders so far tonight by about 30 yards. 43 seconds left to go in the second half. They absolutely need a touchdown. 1st and 10, inside the 20, inside the red zone. Bengals hand off to Zach Moss, who makes a man miss. Able to get 5 yards on the run. And look, say what you want about Zach Moss. I know Chase Brown's the sexy pick, if you will, the more exciting running back. But Zach Moss is able to get it all done. The Bengals are able to get it all done with him, and he's a good short yardage back. He's more of a standard old-fashioned running back. 5 yards right there. 5 yards right there on a nice run where he's getting hit with about 1 yard down, and he's able to fight through it. I don't think there's a lot of guys in the league that consistently fight for extra yards like he does, and I say it every time I talk about the running back room. If you're going to run the ball as little as the Bengals are, you got to have guys that maximize their carries. 4 targets for Chase so far tonight, all 4 brought in. 80 yards and a touchdown. Number 1 seems to be back. Burrow drops back to pass, has to scramble, pressure up the middle. He's able to find Zach Moss, but sails it out of bounds. Bad throw to an open receiver while Burrow was forced on the run. 3rd and 6, 30 seconds left. Still 1 timeout for the Bengals. Mims, Kappa, Karras, Folson, Brown is your O-line, and this is the O-line a lot of people projected being the Bengals group when everything got rolling deeper into the season. Seeing it here early with the injury to Trent Brown earlier. Gesicki, Yoshivas, Chase bunched up at the bottom of the screen. T. Higgins at the top. Burrow fires to Jamar. Bounces off the ground. Low throw. 4th down and 6. Evan McPherson in the field goal unit trots on the field. That's a tough throw and catch, but certainly one that you expect players of that caliber to make. McPherson 1 of 2 today. Missed the 46-yarder, banged one from inside 30. This one just outside. A 31-yard attempt for McPherson. Play clock ticks down. Bengals barely get the snap off. McPherson bangs it through. 21-13. The Bengals cut in to the Commanders' lead. 21-13. The Bengals trail with 22 seconds left in the first half. You cannot settle for field goals. That's not winning offense. If you paid attention to my college football and NFL picks this weekend, I picked against the Cowboys playing the Ravens because you can't beat good teams settling for field goals. And there's been no one worse in the red zone this year than the Cowboys. But boy, oh boy, the Bengals might be close. This red zone offense is a real problem. And it has been for some time. We need to figure out what's wrong in the shorter field and get it fixed. I don't know if that's coaching scheme, or if it's Joe, or if it's the receivers not being able to get separation when the field gets bunched up more, but 0-2 in the red zone against the Commanders, have struggled for years. It's unacceptable, and it's a change that has to be made. If you want to win a Super Bowl, you have to capitalize in the red zone. That's 4-point swings. It is an 8-point game. It is a 1-possession game. If the Bengals start 0-3, Joe Burrow's got to dye that hair back. Can't have frosted tips at 0-3. Shouldn't have frosted tips at 0-2. A lot of bubble up in the chat about play calling. Play calling's an issue that our friend Reed Mouse likes to say that that's the easiest cop-out ever because you can't prove play calling's bad. You can't prove play calling's good. It's all just feel, and I tend to agree with him. But man, Zach Taylor, struggling in the first half. Defense struggling in the first half. Jaden Daniels takes a knee. Clock ticks down. We're going to go to halftime down 8. Down 8. Certainly not where we thought the Bengals would be at this point. 0-2 and trailing in week 2. Washington receives the second half kickoff. Far from what you want to see. Zach Taylor talking right now to the media. Talks about how crucial it is to capitalize in the red zone, and you absolutely have to. The Commanders, 3 drives, 3 touchdowns. Bengals, two red zone trips, no touchdowns to show for it. Bengals staring 0-3 in the face here at halftime. 21-13. Monday Night Football in Cincinnati. The second game of a doubleheader. Jaguars and Bills deep into the third quarter now. The Bills are up 34-10 on the Jacksonville Jaguars. Bengals need to come out firing. They need the defense to either force a turnover or do something to get a stop. It can't be this bad for the whole game, and then the offense needs to start capitalizing. If you need to not get in the red zone, don't get in the red zone. If you get to the 20, jump off sides, take the ball at the 30, then try to score again, because we can't score from the red zone right now, and we seem to be able to score from far out. So I don't know what needs to change, but something does. This is an unacceptable first half, absolutely terrible. Basically on all fronts. I'm encouraged by Joe's play. I'm encouraged by Jamar's play. I would love to see T used a little bit more, but man, need more from almost all 22 positions. All 20, three sides of the ball. You count the field goal. I'll take all 33 positions, I guess. Kickoffs looked good. John Matter with a good play on the kickoff cover, but McPherson missed kick. Offense unable to capitalize in the red zone. And defense being ran all over. All 3 phases of the game need to be better. Joseph Osai looks completely lost out there. Completely lost. There's a lot of weight resting on Myles Murphy's shoulders when he can come back, hopefully week 5, when he's available to be removed from the PUP list. He can come back and be a good player for this team. That'd be crucial, but certainly don't know. Can never know what to expect out of a rookie. The defense is bad. Look, a lot of people in the chat upset at the defense, and I'm just echoing your points. It's really bad. Mark Fetter's at the game. We appreciate you being in the chat as well. Said he's going to run on the field. Do whatever you got to do to get in their ear and let them know. Let them hear it, because this is ugly. 0 pass rush, 0 run defense. I see a lot of people turning on Sam Hubbard. I hate to be early to that party, but I've been saying that the Bengals needed a solution for his pass rush spot for some time now. You have to wonder at least a little bit, what is his tenure in Cincinnati? How could it look different if he wasn't from here? Went to Ohio State, played at Moeller, hometown kid. Obviously the fumble return against the Ravens, a great memory for all Bengals fans, but man, he's subpar is a nice way to put it as an edge rusher. He's been terrible. A lot of time to come back. Bengals down 8. Going to take a short break here, and I'll be back shortly to kick off the second half. You guys are the greatest. This is why I love our chat. Our chat is the greatest. They let me know every time I mess up. And I'm getting used to it. And we're figuring it out. We're here. We're back. Audio's on. You guys are on delay. So it has been fixed. But I appreciate all the help. (21-13). The Commanders up 8 on the Bengals. Need to be better in every phase of the game, folks. Every phase of the game. And what I was saying while I was on mute, maybe I should keep it muted. But all we care about in this chat is friendships and full transparency. We need full transparency. And I'm saying it again. I bet on the Bengals live money line again. I bet on the Bengals live money line again. And I'm okay admitting that. Because at this point, I am going to go down with this ship. I'm going to do whatever I have to do to force the Bengals to win this game. A lot of guesses why I might have been muted there. A little peek behind the curtain, a little inside baseball. Put up that full screen graphic because I had to use the restroom during break, and I'm not going to lie, an 8-point deficit to the Commanders when you're already 0-2. I had to let a few screams out. This video would have definitely been demonetized if that mic was on, so I'll take a quick mess up on the muted mic versus losing money on this video because I decided to cuss a little bit. But when you're watching the Bengals play like this, you can't help but do it. So I needed to let it out. But we're back. The head's clear. The head's clear. Nice cold water. Nice sip of cold water. We're going to be ready to go. This second half's going to be different. The second half's going to start the same way. It's going to start the same way as the first half. It's going to be another bomb, but this time to T. Higgins or Jermaine Burton. Beggars can't be choosers. Oh, I'm really nervous for this second half, folks. I'm really, really nervous. It's water, that one guy. It's water. If there's anyone out there, any beer sponsors out there watching along and want to toss the boy a few brewskis during a live stream, I certainly wouldn't decline. It's water for now, though. It's water for now. Bengals keep playing like this, I might have to make an executive decision and put something else in that cup next week. 0-3. We're going to have to figure something out. This couldn't be worse. This couldn't hurt more than it does right now because I really, really thought that this game was going to turn it around. I thought the Bengals were going to wake up this week and really turn it around, and it's just not. It's just more of the same issues. Aaron, our good friend Aaron in the chat, points out CTB loves to trash talk, but that college offense quote doesn't look too good now. Knew a lot of people were going to say that if the Commanders' offense started rolling, but I think part of why they look so good this early in the season with a rookie quarterback is because they are running a college offense. They're not asking Jaden Daniels to do a whole lot, and he's able to do what he can do, and they're not asking him to do more than what he can do. It's a smart way to do it. You see the Bears struggling. Like Caleb Williams looked phenomenal on Sunday. Most passing yards of any Bears quarterback since 2018, I believe. But they're asking him to do so much. They're running an air raid offense with a terrible O-line and not the best weapons with Rome Odunze banged up and Keenan Allen out right now. But kudos to the Commanders knowing what they have, knowing what their quarterback can do, and setting him up for success because that's what they're doing by not asking him to do a whole lot. It's a shame that it's coming back to bite the Bengals right now. Thank you, everyone, for hanging out with us throughout the game today. Watching this stream, it's a pleasure to be here with you from the opening kickoff and then well through the final whistle as I'll be joined with Craig Sandlin for an immediate post-game show. Fingers crossed, hopefully the first time this edition of Chatterbox Bengals is going to be able to recap a win. A long way to go, 8-point deficit here at halftime. But while you're here hanging out with us, thank you so much, and make sure you like the stream. Make sure you like the stream if you're a Bengals fan, which I assume most people are. That like assures a Bengals win, and we need them all right now. We need every like that we can come by right now to assure a Bengals win. We have a lot of people in here watching. I appreciate every single one of you, but make sure you hit that like sign, that like button, if you want the Bengals to turn this around. And while you're at it, if you want to become a member, become a member. Subscribe and join the Chatterbox channel. We're live every day from 10 to 12 with our daily show Off the Bench. And then we do box lunch 3 times a week, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, a members-only show right afterwards. So if you want to become a member, hang out with us for a little extra time throughout the week, we would love to see you. We love all of our members. Thank you to everyone who's already subscribed. Thank you to everyone who's looking to subscribe. We appreciate all the support. Make sure you like the stream. We're about to get underway here at a second half in Cincinnati, and quite frankly, there hasn't been a bigger second half in Cincinnati in some time. The expectations for the season were astronomical. This team had Super Bowl or bust aspirations, and 0-3 all but kicks that out the door. Joe Buck just said it, and I couldn't agree more. Washington couldn't have looked better in the first half. Everything about it. Bending and not breaking in the red zone. Capitalizing on offense. We're back here in the second half, and much to my chagrin, McPherson about to kick it off back to Jaden Daniels in this Commanders offense. Not very optimistic of the optimistic John Silvani. If they lose tonight, we're done. I think we might be. Kickoff deep. Covered at the 5-yard line by Austin Eckler, and he finds a seam. And he's running. He's out to the 40, out to the 50, out to the 45, other 40, breaks a tackle, 45. He's across the 50 on the 45. The Commanders are going to have an incredibly short field, under 50 yards to grow their lead, already up 8. Huge return for Austin Eckler. Nightmare start, nightmare continuation for a nightmare game for the Bengals so far. The as bad as it was in the first half, it continues to be just as bad. That's terrible. Special teams missed kick. I gave the kickoff team kudos during the halftime break, and I absolutely should not have. That is abysmal. Could have had him twice. You missed tackles. Everyone on this team can't tackle. Hand off to Brian Robinson. Weaves through the O-line past the 30. That's terrible. Dan Quinn in his backwards hat coming into Cincinnati dominating the game. That makes me sick. Justin S. says the dreaded word, snake bit, and we might be. First down pass for Jaden Daniels. No. Akeem Davis-Gaither brings him down short. It's going to be third and very short for the Commanders. A lot of people calling for people comparing Zach Taylor to David Bell. Reds move on from their manager late last night. People asking the Bengals to do the same. I think it's important to remember, guys, it's easy to hate Zach Taylor in the early weeks of the season, and I know staring 0-3 in the face right now, it's a broken record talking about this every year, but he's gotten this Bengals team, with the help of a great quarterback and great weapons, he's gotten this Bengals team to a place it hasn't been in a long time, and he deserves credit for that. Jaden Daniels runs for a first down, able to find a hole. This is terrible. Just zero fight defensively. Zero fight. John Silvani, I couldn't agree more. Feel bad for the fans. This isn't what we were promised this year. This is not what we were promised. We were promised a competitor. We were promised a good team, and this is not it. Something has to change quick. 7 scrambles for a first down for Jaden Daniels so far this year. That's the most in the NFL. He's been great as a rookie. Hands it off up the gut again. Brian Robinson able to get about a yard. Colin Will with a great point. One of our great members here at Chatterbox. He said, Burrow carried this team. Zach Taylor should owe Burrow his entire contract. That's absolutely correct. But you can't do it alone. Zach Taylor's played a good role in this team, and I know it's easy to not think that when you're talking about the guys that have been great, and we're never going to say Burrow's been bad, and I certainly won't. He's been very good, and he's gotten this team to where it is now, and we're nothing without him, but I also think Zach Taylor deserves some credit for the long term. But right now, it's absolutely right to talk about eviscerating him. I mean, this has been terrible. Terrible, terrible, terrible. Daniels drops back. Pressure from the defensive line, but he's able to avoid it. Gets beyond the line of scrimmage for a gain of about 1. It's going to be 3rd and 9. Bengals absolutely have to hold the Commanders to a field goal here. No way around it. No way around it. You have to get a stop here. Oh, doesn't even matter because our defense is going to get flagged. Automatic first down. Hands to the face on the defense. A great play. You think you finally stand up on defense and you don't. Cam Taylor-Britt. Cam Taylor-Britt just grabs Terry McLaurin's helmet. First and 10 from the 12. Handoff to Austin Eckler, who gets a few yards. 3-yard carry. Commanders just cruising again. 2nd and 7. Eckler shaken up on the sideline. 2 for 2 in the red zone so far for the Commanders. Bengals need to strengthen up here. Daniels drops back on the run, fires on the run, and finds Noah Brown. Maybe a touchdown. No, they're going to roll him down. Roll him down on the half-yard line. This defense doesn't care at all. This defense is terrible. Couldn't be closer to a touchdown, but it's not. Brian Robinson unable to get it. 2nd and goal. Turning the ticker off, the scoreboard off briefly just because it is slightly ahead. This is infuriating. We were supposed to be something this year, guys. We were supposed to be something this year. 9 for 10 for 150 yards, 24 on the ground for Jaden Daniels. He boots, he throws, wide open, and for the second time in 2 weeks, the Bengals fall victim to a big man touchdown. Touchdown to Trent Scott, number 73, Commanders lineman, and the Bengals are a joke. Laughing stock of the league. 2 touchdowns to backup linemen throughout the last 2 weeks. 1 to the Chiefs, which you can swallow. 1 to the Commanders, which you absolutely cannot. Teams don't take us seriously. That's a fact. It's clear as day right now. Teams don't take us seriously. We're a joke. This defense is a joke. John Silvani said he predicted 9-8, maybe won't even get there. If you lose 3 in a row, who can you beat? Who can you beat? Who can you beat? A lot of questions being asked about the whole coaching staff. Started off with Zach Taylor, now on to Lou Anarumo. Adjustments have been terrible. Run defense has been terrible. I don't know what they expected. What did the front office and coaching staff expect this year? You lost DJ Reader, who's one of the best run defenders in the entire league. You lose him to Detroit. You're not willing to cough up the money, and whether that's the right decision or not, we can debate that another day. But then you just don't make any attempt to replace him. No attempt to go get guys to fill that role and fix the defense, and we're seeing it already through 3 weeks. Just nothing. Nothing when it comes to run defense. Bengals live money lines in the toilet. I threw money away again. This team's a joke, man. I thought we were done with this era of the Bengals. I thought the Bengals were ready to be a competitor. I thought the Bengals were ready to roll year in and year out. John Silvani with another good take. Lou Anarumo, not the guy. Maybe he's not. Maybe he's not. Maybe he needs an all-pro safety back there running things in Jesse Bates. Ah, man. Man. Said after the first touchdown we were back. Couldn't have been more of a lie. I guess back is technically right. To the mid-2010s, late 2010s version of the Bengals. Back to being a joke. Back to being a laughingstock. Back to the basement. I see people talking about DJ Reader's stat line and how he hasn't been great this year. He obviously missed week 1. I understand that. I'm not necessarily advocating that the Bengals should have signed DJ Reader. I just think we saw how much this defense reeled when you let Jesse Bates walk and you didn't have a great replacement plan for him at safety, and then you do it again at interior D-line. I think it was a good decision to let Reader walk. I wouldn't necessarily have paid him that much money coming off a quad injury at an old age, but you have to have a plan to replace a guy like that, and we just didn't. When a team like the Commanders is having this much fun on your field in primetime. Handoff to Chase Brown, who's able to bust around the corner for over 10 yards, 15. That's great. Great burst. Need this team to go. Let's go, man. I mean, this is brutal. Burrow play action. Pressure. Mims gets beat. Burrow gets sacked. Second and long. Jean-Baptiste just beats Mims across his face. Shout out our dear friend Jimmy Collins. It's a Notre Dame product right there. First sack Mims has given up in his career in his first start. Second and 16 as the play clock ticks down. Burrow fires Eric All again out to the 38. I mean, I don't know what else there is to be happy about at this point. Oh for 10 on third downs longer than 7 yards this year for the Bengals. Whoopee! 3rd and 10. Let's see if Zach Taylor can do anything. Scheme something up here. Burrow drops back, fires for the first down, finds T. Higgins across the middle. Great run, and he gets stuck. Oh, my gosh. Rick S. with a great point in the chat. I'm noticing that too. They're absolutely punishing these Bengals ball carriers on these tackles. This Commanders defense is allowing some plays, but imposing their punishments right after. 1 for 11 on the year on 3rd and longer than 7. Thank you for the correction, chat. Just a reminder, I am on a little bit of a delay. Burrow play action, runs around in a circle, gets out of the pressure, loads up to throw, and throws it behind Yoshivas. Yoshivas has to do a better job of sitting down in that zone. Burrow talking to him right there, putting his hands out as to say, calm down. Just settle down. You don't need to keep running. Burrow, a tough off-platform throw there. Tipped. Could have been... It was on target if it wasn't tipped, but a tough throw. Delay a game on the Bengals offense. 2nd and 10 is going to get even longer. They gave the Bengals a timeout. We're going to commercial. 2 timeouts left for the Bengals in the second half. Down 15 to the Washington Commanders. I would say the lowly Washington Commanders, but maybe we're just the lowly Bengals. What interesting question for the chat. I'm going to put a poll here in the chat. Make sure you vote on it. I'm wondering what you guys think here. Would you take that delay a game or would you use that timeout? Down 15 points here in the second half. Polls available in the chat now. Very interested to see what you guys have to say. Everyone make sure you go and put your vote in here. Terrible game for the Bengals so far in literally every single way, but with 7 minutes left in the third quarter, down multiple scores here. The Bengals take a timeout to avoid a delay of game. Wondering what you guys think. Would you take that timeout or would you just take the delay? 2nd and 10 there. Certainly an interesting dilemma for coaches everywhere. Poll looks very close so far, 60-40. As we get rolling here. Thanks to everyone for tuning in as you go and vote on that poll in our YouTube chat here. Make sure you like the stream. Make sure you hit that thumbs up button and go ahead and subscribe to Chatterbox Sports. Make sure you stick around. We have a lot of content coming for you. A few weeks left of the Reds season. A great Chatterbox Red post-game show there for you every single game of the year. Enjoy this last week. You're going to miss baseball when it's gone, so make sure you tune into them. 10 to 12 every day, Monday through Friday. Boxed lunch on the Chatterbox, or off the bench 10 to 12 on the Chatterbox YouTube table or YouTube channel, and then boxed lunch for an hour after on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. That's for members only. So make sure you subscribe to the channel if you want to be a part of that as well. Likes are the only way we're going to come back here, folks. 7 minutes in the third quarter, we're down 15. It's 2nd and 10. Bengals just used a crucial timeout. We need some likes. We need some likes to bounce back. There's no way around that. Cincinnati sports hasn't brought us joy in a long time. I was born in 2000, so I've seen a whole lot of nothing. Joe Burrow finds T. Higgins to make it a 3rd and 1. (28-13) under 6.5 minutes now. This is the 3rd Monday Night Football game where each quarterback is a Heisman winner. Zach Moss gets the first down to the... Run games looked very, very good tonight. That's a great point, Chase. This run game's looked very, very good. Zach Moss, over 5 yards a carry. Chase Brown, over 8 yards a carry. 9 and 6 touches for them both, respectively. Great block by Eric All there. Burrow drops back to pass. Limited rush. Good blocking. Finds Zach Moss on a little dump off. Able to scamper for, I believe, a first down. Depends on the spot, and they're going to give it to him. Moves the chains. Zach Moss, way to find some open space on the check down, get a first down. Over 80 yards now for Zach Moss, rushing and receiving. Great work from him being a dual threat back. Not something we necessarily expect out of him. Handoff to Chase Brown, who continues to have burst. Gets around the corner. It's going to be a first down inside the 10 to the 7. Chase Brown, a hell of a runner. Continues to be dominant with the ball in his hands. Maybe you guys were right. Maybe I was wrong. Maybe he needs to be the number one. But let's not overlook Zach Moss. He's had a great game as well. This rushing attack looks like it has taken a step. And these two guys look comfortable. We need to run the ball. Impose our will. Need to do something. Chase Brown last season, the second fastest ball carrier in the league. Seeing some of that burst so far today. No, he can clock in over 22 miles per hour, which not many people can do. Handoff to Zach Moss up the gut, who gets stuffed back to the 10. It's going to be a loss of a few yards. Gang tackle by the Commanders' defense. Frankie Louvu, Noah Benogany, many, many more. Touchdown, not a field goal, folks. Touchdown, not a field goal. Absolutely need it. No way around it. Gotta have it. 3 for 3 for the Commanders. 0 for 2 in the red zone for the Bengals. Settling for field goals both times. I see the stat every time it pops up, but I'm going to keep saying it because it's embarrassing. Burrow finds Chase, who gets down inside the 5 to the 3 to the 2. Stacked up by the Bengals defense. It's going to be 3rd and goal from the 2. Need to score here. Need to score. Have to think it could be 4-down territory. Look, you're down 15. This is as must-win as a game can get. 0-3 puts you in a hole that's almost impossible to climb out of. Third and goal for the Bengals. From the 2, I formation. Zach Moss, Eric All lined up behind Joe Burrow. And we get a timeout. Timeout from the Commanders' defense. That leaves both teams with 2 apiece. As we get down to 3 minutes left here in the third quarter. 3:12 on the clock. .2% playoff chance. Cody puts in the chat at 0-3. That might be generous. I'd put it at a flat 0. If you lose to the Commanders and the Patriots, who can you beat, folks? Who can you beat? Third and goal from the 2. 3:12 on the clock. Must score, must score, must score. Zach Moss in motion, Joe Burrow in the pistol. Drops back to pass, looks to fire, end zone. Incomplete. He finds T. Higgins, throws it high, only able to get 1 foot down, and it's incomplete. You got to make that throw, and you have to go for it. You're going for it. Got to make that throw. Joe Burrow 1 for 5 in the red zone. 1 for 5 in the red zone for Joe Burrow so far today. 4th and goal, you absolutely have to score. Play action, little whip route. Does he get in? And he gets in! Let's go, Yoshi! That's all he does! That's all he does! All he does! Touchdown machine! He got it across. Just has to break that front plane of the goal line. He got it across. That's great, great work for Andre Yoshivas. All he does is capitalize in the red zone. He's an absolute monster. Great work by Burrow to find the open receiver. Great work by Yoshi to get that ball across. Bengals are still in this game, folks. 28-19, pending the extra point. Kick is good, but whistles were blown. It's going to be a penalty against the Bengals, bumping McPherson back. False start on Amarius Mims on the extra point. Not the debut we necessarily wanted to see from him so far. Extra point is good. 20-28. Bengals down 1 score. 3 minutes to go in the third quarter. This game couldn't have looked worse so far, quite honestly, for the Bengals in basically every aspect. But, man, we're in it. 3 minutes left in the third quarter, down 8. Very winnable game. Andre Yoshivas continues to be one of the most interesting people in the entire world. I mean, Andre Yoshivas, what does he do? What does he do other than catch touchdowns? Because I don't know that it's a whole lot. All he does is catch touchdowns. Three of Burrow's 4 passing touchdowns this year to Yoshivas. Bengals down from plus 300 to plus 190 on the live money line. There we go, boys. Defense is going to need to force a turnover. This offense is going to need more chances, and it doesn't seem like this defense can get a straight-up stop. We're going to need a turnover. AJ, you're absolutely right. AJ Worse, absolutely right. Need this defense to capitalize. We signed Geno Stone because he's an opportunistic guy on defense. He makes plays. He gets the ball back in Joe Burrow's hands. That's why we brought him in here. That's why we brought him in here to be the safety. He's supposed to be the best guy back there since Jesse Bates. And as of right now, we're not seeing it. Going to need him to make a play. Going to need Trey Hendrickson to get a strip sack. Going to need Logan Wilson to make a pick. There's plenty of guys on defense you can point to and ask to make a big play here. And I'm comfortable doing so. I know this defense hasn't looked great yet, but there's pieces on this team I have faith in, especially when it comes to forcing a much-needed turnover. We're going to do that right here. Charles H. puts it perfectly. The offense looks good. The defense and the special teams, atrocious. Atrocious. One of those two sides of the ball is going to have to make a play. I don't know what I'm going to do if the Bengals lose this game, quite honestly. This season ending 3 weeks in would be so brutal. But there's time left. There's time left. 3 minutes left in the third quarter, down 8. Andre Yoshivas continues to be a touchdown machine. Dances in the end zone, nothing malicious there, but that doesn't seem to matter to the league. Wonder if he'll get fined for that one. Stop. Touchdown, 2-point conversion, and we're back in a tie game. Defense, special teams, offense just needs to get clicking, play like the team we all expect. McPherson sends that ball into the end zone, not giving him a chance to return it. Troy Walters talking to Yoshi on the sideline. Have to love what you see out of him in the red zone and just hope that it can break through and really start to contribute in other parts of the game, because he's great down there in short yardage situations where most of the Bengals team really does struggle. Most of the Bengals team really does struggle down there in the red zone. I've talked about it ad nauseum today, and he does not. He's at his best down there, but would love to see him do a little bit more in other parts of the field. Defense back in there. 1st and 10 from the 30 for the Commanders. Jaden Daniels finds McLaurin for the first down out to the 45 already. Just a 15-yard play on the first play of the game. This offense moves so easily. This offense is moving without very much resistance whatsoever from this Bengals defense. 9 of 9 for Jaden Daniels for 151 yards when the Bengals don't blitz. 9 for 9 for 151 when the Bengals don't blitz. Have to bring pressure against a rookie quarterback. There's no way around it, but this D-line's just unable to get pressure. Handoff up the gut, and it's stuffed. Akeem Davis-Gaither, Joseph Osai. Good play. Good play. T. Brookie asks the scariest question for all Bengals fans. Did we pay our linebackers too soon? I know some people are sour on the linebackers. I really do think they looked all right through the first 2 weeks, but certainly need to step it up in the run game. Definitely not their best outing so far tonight. Daniels drops back, pumps, fakes the handoff on the roll. He's going to fire towards the first down marker. Finds Ertz, but he's going to be short. It's going to be 3rd and 1. 3rd and 1 coming up for the Commanders. Need a stop. Need a stop here. Daniels makes a man miss. You get pressure, you get a one-on-one opportunity with Joseph Osai in the backfield, and Jane Daniels makes a man miss. That's why he was picked number 2 overall in the draft. But we also expect to be a team that's going to win a Super Bowl, and you don't do that, missing tackles in the backfield. We do so again. Just embarrassing. Embarrassing from Joseph Osai. Embarrassing. Make a play, kid. "34 rushes on the season for Jaden Daniels, only 1 slide. He's got to learn to protect himself. A good play there in the middle of the defense. Chris Jenkins making a good play in his rookie debut as well. A lot of Bengal rookies getting their first run with this team today. Chris Jenkins, one of them, a guy a lot of people are really, really excited about in Cincinnati. I know I certainly am. I know I'm certainly excited. We got 10 seconds left in the third quarter. We're ticking down. The Commanders are going to take it to the end. Folks, it's never gotten bigger than it is right now. It's never gotten bigger than it is right now. And right now, we need 4s up. We need 4s up and we need likes. We need everyone liking the stream. We need everyone's 4s up. We need a Bengals win at the end of the day. That's what we need. Bengals down 8 entering the fourth quarter at home. Monday Night Football. Bengals Commanders. Bengals 0-2. Looking 0-3 in the face. And the only way you can turn that around is for you to put your 4s up. But don't put those 4s up until you click on that thumbs up button. Click that like button. Make sure you like the stream. That's how we're going to get the Bengals this win. Everyone, make sure you like the stream. Make sure you subscribe to Chatterbox Sports. And make sure you have your 4s up. Because this is the biggest quarter of the game. And we got to lock in. Feels like we're down an eternity right now. An insurmountable deficit. But that couldn't be more false. Just 1 score. 2nd and 9 for the Commanders when we come back for the start of the fourth quarter. Need a stop. Spam some 4s in the chat. Give me some vibes. We got to get excited. We got to lock in. The Bengals need us in the fourth quarter. And I know we're all at home watching the game, but we can make a difference. The vibes matter. And the vibes are low right now. But we're out here and we're ready to roll. near in the fourth quarter. I mean, oh, man. This is brutal. Give me some more fours in the chat, guys. We need it. We need it. It's the biggest quarter of the season. It's the biggest quarter of the season. Hate to have the biggest quarter of the season in week 3, but it doesn't get any more crucial than this. You need more than 8 points in the fourth quarter to avoid going 0-3. Defense needs to button up and get a stop. Get the ball back to the offense. Get the ball back in Joe Burrow's hands. Give this team a chance. Give this offense a chance. Coming out of commercial break for the biggest quarter of the season. Biggest quarter of the season. Fourth quarter right around the corner here. Commanders' offense has been moving the ball at will. Bengals defense needs to button up and get a stop if we want to have a chance. Bengals outgaining Washington in every aspect of the game, but it doesn't matter if you can't get a stop. 8 for 9 in the pocket for Jaden Daniels tonight for 150 yards. He's been far, far, far too comfortable. Far too comfortable. 2nd and 9 from the 39. Commanders looking to add to their 8-point lead. Jaden Daniels fakes the handoff. Loads up to fire deep, limited pressure. He's forced to scramble, and he finds space, and he's able to run. He's able to run for about half. It's going to be 3rd and 4. Cedric Johnson brings him down, but this defense needs to do a better job of guarding against the scramble. Austin Eckler out for the remainder of the game with a concussion. It's going to be Brian Robinson and Jaden Daniels in that backfield for the rest of the game. 14:30 left in the fourth quarter. 3rd and 4 for the Commanders' offense. It couldn't get much bigger than this. Couldn't get much bigger than this. Bringing the pressure. Sends Logan Wilson. Jaden Daniels finds Luke McCaffrey, but he's short. He's short. He's short. Great tackle, DJ Turner. That's a depth corner making a play when you need it. Great tackle, DJ Turner. But 4th and that short with a team that's being able to run the ball that well, they're certainly going for it. They're certainly going for it. 4th and less than a yard, when you're running the ball as well as the Commanders have, you were going for this. He could not be a bigger play. Commanders look flustered. Jaden Daniel lines up in the shotgun. Calls a timeout. Commanders burn a timeout. 1 timeout left for the Commanders. 4th and 1. They're up 8. They're going for it. This is why you watch football, folks. This is why you watch football. 13:30 left in the fourth quarter, and you have a great chance on defense to nullify the first 3 quarters of god-awful play. If you're the Commanders, you're more than a touchdown underdog. So you got to act like it. Going for it on 4th and 1. 13:35 left in the game, so far from icing it, but would go a long way for the Bengals' chances to get a stop here, get the ball back with some decent field position, still down just 1 score. 14 drives. Last 14 drives for the Commanders, 5 touchdowns, 2 field goals, 2 QB knees, no punts for them. Shotgun, sends a tight end in motion, hands it off. Jaden Daniels keeps it and gets a first down. You have a quarterback who's dominated you on the ground all day. I think anyone could have guessed a read option there. And you have no one on the quarterback. He's able to slide right through. Jermaine Pratt over pursues to the running back. Daniel's able to slide right through for the first down. You got to have a guy on the running back and a guy on the quarterback, and you just hit your responsibility on a play like that. 4th and 1, and you let a rookie quarterback run for a first down? That's ridiculous. Over 200 total yards, 260 total yards for Jaden Daniels today. Bengals defense stuffs Brian Robinson on first down. It's going to be 2nd and 9. Jaden Daniels with the second most rushing yards through the first 3 career games of a rookie quarterback since 1970. 170 rushing yards through 3 weeks for the rookie Jaden Daniels. He's been impressive. He's been impressive. Daniels swings it out to Brian Robinson. Logan Wilson forces him out of bounds. It's going to be a 3rd and 3. Third and 5 for the Commanders, up 8, 12 minutes to go. Bengals need to get a stop sooner rather than later. Need to get a stop. Need to get a stop. Jaden Daniels in the shotgun. 3rd and 5 from just inside the 25. Commanders up 8 with under 12 minutes to go. Play clock ticks down. 1 second. They get the snap off, but barely. Jaden Daniels fires off his back foot to the end zone. He has a man, but he fires out of bounds. Terry McLaurin got behind Cam Taylor-Britt yet again. But Daniels fires the ball out of bounds. 4th and 5. Certainly a little longer than Dan Quinn and the Commanders coaching staff would like to go for it. Have to expect them sending their field goal kicker out here to get up 2 scores, sorry. Get up 11 points here. 28-20 as Austin Seibert lines up to kick. 7 made field goals last week. Looking for his first tonight. And he bangs it through. 42-yard attempt is good for Austin Seibert. 31-20. The Commanders by 11. Colin Will stating the obvious, but apparently it needs to be said. When you blitz a rookie quarterback, it works. Shocker. Someone want to get a direct line to Lou Anarumo and let him know? Down 11, 11:30 left. This is the biggest 11 minutes in regular season recent Bengals history. I mean, you're going to phone in a season at 0-3 where you were supposed to have a very, very good chance at competing for a Super Bowl. Just a miserable, miserable game. If we can somehow pull this out, it would be life-changing. Life-changing. Jaden's a great player. I see a lot of people in the chat piling on my Caleb Williams love, saying he's definitely better than Caleb. And look, after tonight, not sure how much I can argue. He's getting their team wins. Jaden Daniels a hell of a player. Maybe Joe Burrow can dye his hair a different color and win. Mean chat, Max. Mean chat. But at some point, I'm going to have to agree with you. You can't have frosted tips and be 0-3. Hopefully Burrow goes back to the hair color, natural hair color next week. See some of our loyal chatters in here saying they're going to be upset tomorrow morning on Off the Bench. But before that, we have an immediate post-game show coming after, hopefully talking about an incredible Bengals comeback. But if not, we'll sulk with you guys for a little bit. So make sure you stick around after the final whistle for myself and Craig Sandlin bringing you an immediate post-game show. Everyone liked the stream. Everyone liked the stream. Bengals down 11. The only way we can get this comeback is if we get more likes. 64 likes right now and a lot more people watching. So make sure you hit that thumbs up button. Make sure you like the stream. I appreciate everyone for sticking with us throughout this one. It's been a tough one. It's been a tough season so far on Chatterbox Bengals, but nowhere I'd rather spend it than right here with all of you guys. So thank you so much for watching. Kickoff fielded by Chase Brown. He brings it out. Tackled at the 25, breaks a tackle out to the 30, Got about 5 yards after contact there, going to net nearly 0 when he could have just taken it to the 30 by kneeling it in the end zone. Nick Kirby asking the question I think a lot of people have right now. If the Bengals lose, does Burrow need to shave his head? He needs to do something to get rid of that bleached hair because obviously it's not good luck. But a lot of time left. 11 minutes left, and there's no set number, but I'm sure we're just a few likes away from locking up this Bengals comeback. So make sure you like the stream. Make sure you stick with me for 11 minutes left as the Bengals try to fight back. 2nd and 5 for the Bengals from the 35, just inside. Burrow in the shotgun. Throws flat-footed, finds Gesicki for a first down. Still down 11 with 10 minutes left. (21-28) for 215 yards and 2 touchdowns for Joe Burrow. He fires across the middle and finds Yoshivas for a big chunk play, first down, and we about 15 yards. Touchdown for Yoshivas. Great play there in the middle of the field. He's putting together a pretty solid game. Love the Bengals' tempo here. Burrow finds Gesicki for another first down. Gets out of bounds to stop the clock. Bengals next week go to Carolina to face old friend Andy Dalton, but before then have to get out of Cincinnati. Burrow fires deep, end zone, Chase, touchdown! Yes! 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 Come on! 9-1, who else? Who else? 31-26, Burrow puts 2 fingers up, we're going for 2. Come on! Quick TD is exactly what we needed. Go for 2. Hell yeah, 1. Welcome back, Jamar. Got it on for a reason. Knew he was going to have a day today. That's 2 for 1. Lining up for 2 to make it a 3-point game. Currently down 5. Burrow in the shotgun. Burrow has to roll. Forced out of the pocket. Fires. Incomplete. Bengals still down 5. Deepest apologies to Nick Kirby. He regrets to inform us that I woke up his children. I'm very, very sorry about that. But what a play. Brother, hold on. I'm just now seeing that replay of the 2-point conversion. That's about as clear a day pass interference as you could see. Was that not PI? What? How is that not PI? Oh, that's terrible. That's terrible. A lot of we don't get that and the Chiefs do chats going on right now, and I hate being a refs guy, but at some point, that's just ridiculous. That's a clear PI. Chase Wellman with a great point. It's important to have the refs owe you one. Could come in handy down the stretch. Down 5, going to need a touchdown to take the lead. Could definitely use that. Could definitely use some get back calls, some charity calls later in this game. But as of right now, that's a big pass interference miss. It's plays like this where you wonder why the NFL outlawed reviewing pass interference. They tried it for a year and then removed it just after one season. It's plays like that. Plays like the Kyle Pitts touchdown or attempt for a touchdown in the Chiefs-Falcons game where you have clear pass interference that's missed by the officials, and you can't expect them to make every call, but easily reviewable. Could easily be changed, and that's been removed from the NFL. Let's see how the rules analysts can justify this one. I mean, the replay is brutal. I mean, the replay is brutal. That's clear as day. He pulls his arm down. How is that not PI? A.J. Worse, phenomenal point. When you move that fast on offense, that's Burrow making adjustments at the line of scrimmage, calling the offense, and not Zach Taylor and the offensive coaches. That's when we're our best. False start on the Commanders. Great start to a crucial drive for this Bengals defense. Going to put the Commanders behind the sticks. First penalty on the Commanders today. A young team with a rookie head coach. First penalty in the game. Certainly not something you usually see with under 10 minutes left in the fourth quarter. Trey Hendrickson on the sideline to start this drive. Banged up earlier in the game. Osai and Hubbard rushing off the edge now. Ertz hit! Drops the ball! Commanders able to get on top of it. Almost a huge break for this Bengals defense. Jermaine Pratt, way to knock that ball out. Just putting a helmet on the ball. Got to be able to recover that. Oh, what a brutal bounce. But a great play by Jermaine Pratt. That was for you, AJ. Daniels drops back. Fires for the first down to Zach Ertz. Defense not putting up a fight. That was a first down. .43-yard line for the Commanders. Up 5. With 8:39 and ticking. Daniels hands off to Brian Robinson, who's able to break for about 5 yards. Down below 8:10. Clock still rolls, and boy, it feels like it's rolling fast. Really feels like that clock's ticking fast. Daniels play action, rolls out, gonna tuck and run. No routes downfield, and they're able to bring him down for a short 1-yard gain. It's gonna be 3rd down and 3 with under 8 minutes left. Every single stop for the defense doesn't get bigger, and every single one continues to get bigger. Biggest 3rd down for the Bengals yet today. Have to get a stop defensively. Trey Hendrickson back in the game. Big 3rd down, have to rush the passer. 51 games for the Bengals, 41.5 sacks. No bigger time than right now. No bigger time than right now for 91. Good pressure by the Bengals, and Daniels is able to find McLaurin. This defense can't stop anything. Anything. Bengals bring pressure. Daniels is able to scamper around. A lot of contact from Logan Wilson. But Terry McLaurin fights through and gets open. Geno Stone just a step slow. 3 catches for 73 yards for Terry McLaurin today. Handoff off the gut, but whistles blow before the play. Another false start on the Commanders' offense. Their second of the drive. First 2 penalties on them of the game. A lot of people saying our defense is Swiss cheese. I don't know about you guys, but I really like Swiss cheese, and I hate this defense. .638, 1st and 15. Hendrickson, Jenkins, Guy, and Hendrickson! Boom! What did I say? What did I say? No bigger time than right now. 1 play late, I guess, but I'll take the sack. Third sack of the year for Hendrickson. That's wonderful. That's wonderful. Great timing. Great timing for Trey. 2nd and 21 for the Commanders. 6 minutes left in the game. Hendrickson's first tackle of the night is a phenomenal timely sack. Daniels finds Dyami Brown at the bottom of the screen, who breaks 3 tackles, 4 tackles, 5 tackles. Oh my God! Geno Stone, please don't get flagged for something stupid, but what a hit! Ugh! I would love the Bengals to make a tackle a little bit earlier in the play. Dax Hill miss. Mike Hilton missed. Jermaine Pratt missed. But you know who doesn't miss? Geno Stone, who runs right through his chest. Jeez Louise. What a play. 3rd and 13 for the Commanders. Third and 13 for the Commanders, and you just can't give this up to a rookie quarterback. You just cannot give this up to a rookie quarterback. Can't do it. Throws to Dyami Brown, who made a couple tackles miss earlier, but the Bengals defense is able to swarm tackle right around the 40. It's going to be 4th down. What will the Commanders do here? 4th and 4, big time decision. They're certainly going to try to get the Bengals to jump off sides first, but have to wonder whether or not they'll settle for the field goal to go up 8. If they go for this here, if the Commanders go for this here, you have to get a stop. I know I'm just saying obvious stuff now. But you have to get a stop. Jaden Daniels converts to Zach Ertz. It's going to be another 1st down for the Commanders. This defense is atrocious. This defense is atrocious. This defense couldn't be worse. It's so easy for a rookie quarterback. 5 catches for 40 yards on 5 targets for a 40-year-old tight end. Jaden Daniels dicing this defense up. 3 minutes and 43 seconds left as Brian Robinson runs for no gain. 2nd and 21. 2nd and 21. You missed 4 tackles on a screen pass. Then you let a rookie quarterback convert a 3rd and 9. A 6-minute drive, over 6-minute drive. 10 plays, 41 yards, 6.5 minutes. This defense is a joke. A joke. Stuff to beat Brian Robinson again. Third down. 2 minutes and 50 seconds to go. This defense is a joke. See a lot of the haters in the chat victory lap in the defense, and hey, you guys win. You guys are right. The defense is terrible. Third and 7 for the Commanders as we tick down now. 2:15 left. And the Commanders are going to call timeout. Commanders are out of timeouts. 2:15 left. The Bengals have 2. Third and 7 for the Commanders. I mean, maybe I'm bad luck, guys. Maybe I'm bad luck. I get to have fun with y'all for these streams for all these games, and we start 0-3. Maybe it's me. Maybe it's me. This is a joke, man. It's a joke. Would LeBron tweet when Kyrie signed with the Mavs? Maybe it's me. Maybe it's me. 0 for 6 in the red zone against the, everyone knows the Giants are a top-tier contender in this league. The Commanders were unable to score in the red zone last week, but no problems against the Bengals. No problems against the Bengals. 20 for 22 for a touchdown, 40 yards on the ground. Third and 7. Jaden Daniels drops back. Why would we think anything other than a conversion here? And he finds Terry McLaurin for a touchdown. Touchdown, Commanders. Touchdown, Commanders, pending review. Yep, he's in. He's in. He's in. We stink, guys. We stink. We stink. You got it to a one-score game. Got it to a one-score game. You give the rookie quarterback a ball back. You need a stop to get the ball back to your guy who's supposed to be in an MVP race. Your defense allows a 7-minute touchdown drive. Dax Hill burnt on the outside. Absolutely cooked for a touchdown. I mean, this is brutal. This is brutal. We're 3 weeks into a 17-week season, and I'm already ready to hang it up. I'm already ready to pack it in on the season. There's nothing fun about this. We wait all year. We wait all year just to get We wait all year for this. We wait all year for Bengals season. All off season, the Reds are bad, and hey, at least we're going to have Bengals season. At least we have Joe Burrow. At least we have Jamar Chase. At least we're going to have one competitive team in Cincinnati. At least everything isn't misery and pain for Cincinnati sports fans, but nothing changes. Nothing ever changes. We thought we changed something. A few years ago, we thought we changed something. But nothing ever changes. Trace Fowler calling his shot, and I probably agree with him. Either Cliff Kingsbury or Jaden Daniels is definitely referencing a college offense. After this game, 38 points. Just running down the throat of this Bengals defense. Everything incredibly easy. I said before the game that If you make Jaden Daniels throw, you'll win this game. I couldn't have been more wrong. 21 of 23 for 254 yards and 2 touchdowns. Only sacked twice, 141 passer rating. He's incredible. He played great. Bengals are a joke. This team's terrible. This team's terrible. It's the same old Bengals. It's the same old Bengals. It's the same old shit every year. It's the same old stuff every year. It's a joke. It's a joke. It's an absolute joke. Oh, it's a joke, gentlemen. Thank you to everyone for sticking with us throughout the stream. 2 minutes and 10 seconds left. Bengals down 12. Kickoff goes into the end zone. Chase Brown finally learns about losing yards when you can just get it at the 30. Takes a knee. Bengals offense going to take over just above the 2-minute warning. I know it's a kid's show. I apologize. It's just terrible. Burrow drops back, fires to Gesicki underneath, who's able to run for a first down, but the Commanders are giving you everything underneath. We're going to stat pad here for about 2 minutes. Tough sledding is right. 2-minute warning. Two-minute warning. Bengals down 12. Man. Hey, to everyone saying I slept on Washington, that's not true. I have it around here somewhere. Is it right here? No, it's the wrong paper. I had the Commanders as a loss in the preseason. I don't need to victory lap that right now. This is so brutal. It's just terrible. Everything's terrible. Everything's terrible. Everything. Blackmore, that's right. 2025 mock draft going to be taking up a lot of time on off the bench throughout the next couple months. This is just brutal. Bengals season comes to an end 3 weeks in. Just brutal. Just absolutely brutal. 0-3. Only one team ever has crawled out of an 0-3 hole to make the playoffs. The Bengals are down 12 with 2 minutes left in the game, unable to get any stops on defense, unable to capitalize in the red zone on offense. It's just terrible. That's just... There's so many holes on this team. And they're all on defense. I don't know who needs to change. People are calling for Zach Taylor's head. People are calling for Lou Anarumo's head. People are calling for Duke Tobin's head. People are calling for anyone's head. And at this point, I don't know what there is to disagree with. This is terrible. Burrow finds Zach Moss, continues to stat pad with another first down. 1:50 left in the game. This is brutal. This is brutal. Burrow passes again. Going to be throwing the rest of the way here. Finds Moss again in the flat. Tackled for no gain. As crappy as this game has been, as much as we all want to go curl up in bed and cry, do not fret. Craig Sandlin will be joining me right after the final whistle for an immediate post-game show, so make sure you stick around to watch us wallow in our misery. Haters and fans alike will cry with you if you're a Bengals fan. You can laugh at us if you're not. Either way, make sure you like the stream. We're happy to do it for you guys. 1:05 left. The Bengals used their second timeout of the second half. 1:05 left as we head to commercial. I mean, it's ugly. It's ugly. I never in a million years thought we would get dragged in 2 of the first 3 games, and the one game that's close is the Chiefs. That's just inexplicable. Inexplicable to get dragged by the Patriots and Commanders. See a lot of people saying 0-3 is nothing new. We've come back from slow starts before. This is new, folks. This is new. We have not been 0-3 before. Just an abysmal game all around. There's no way around it. Coming up right after the game, I've said it before, I'll say it again. We got a post-game show. Craig Sandlin in here waiting for us to end, watching my misery as he waits to join. And we'll be here to talk you through what went wrong, and boy, oh boy, it was a lot. Not how we thought we'd spend this post-game show. Certainly we're hoping to talk about our first win, but we're not going to get it. One timeout left, 1:05 to go. Burrow drops back to pass, fires deep, and Higgins catches it, but they rule it incomplete. Would have been a crazy catch. Third and 10, under a minute now. Burrow forced to run around a little bit. Finds Yoshivas, who makes a great play on the sideline for a first down. 53 seconds now to go. Great catch by Yoshivas. Wonderful play by Yoshivas. First and 10 at the 19 for the Bengals, down 12, 50 seconds left. Burrow fires, end zone, tipped by Yoshivas. It's going to be pass interference. Bengals are going to get the ball at the 1. Not when I want the PI call. I want the PI call on the 2-point conversion, please, sir. Ball sits at the 1. Look, there's a lot of problems. We can argue about what the problems are with this team right now, and we'll get into it here in a second on the postgame show, but incomplete to Higgins on 1st and goal. It's going to be 2nd and goal from the 1 with 43 seconds left. Burrow in the shotgun, Moss to his right. Higgins in motion. Jamar Chase at the bottom of your screen. Burrow hands to Moss, cuts back, untouched. Touchdown, Bengals. 32-38. Zach Taylor puts the 1 up. We're going to kick the extra point. Certainly attempt the onside kick and see if we can capture a miracle here. $40 seconds left in the game, but a lot longer left in this stream, as right after this clock hits zeros, Craig Stanley and I are going to be here to take you through an immediate post-game show. I know emotions will be high. We'll both be pretty upset, but here nonetheless, ready to take you through it on this late Monday night. Thanks to everyone for joining. It's 33-38. Bengals trail by 5 with 40 seconds left. No flag on that 2-point conversion is going to keep me up for some time, but who cares when your defense is as bad as we are, right? Jaden Daniels, 91% completion percentage tonight, the highest in Commanders franchise history, and a rookie NFL record. One timeout for the Bengals as we go for this onside kick here. McPherson kicks it high in the air. Flag on the play. Commanders do recover. It's going to be offsides on the Bengals on the onside kick attempt. Oh, man. Five-yard penalty on the end of the kick. One timeout for the Bengals as the Commanders are going to be able to ice it away. Don't go anywhere now. We'll be back momentarily after this clock hits zeros. Just sad. Just a sad showing all around. But alas, we'll be here to talk about it nonetheless. I'm going to run this intro. Folks, stick around. We got a post-game show coming for you.
Looking right around, Huntley reaches, oh, that ball's out, that's live! Back the other way, Sam Hubbard! The Cincinnati Kid! Hubbard's 20. He will score.
To the end zone, down the field, and it is deflected and gone. Touchdown, A.J. Green.
Over goes back to throw. Men are coming late. Looks right down the middle. There's Eddie Brown. He has it at the 35 to the 30. He may go 10-5. Touchdown.
Now the Bengals Super Bowl chances rest on his right foot. The kick is up. It is good.
Corey Dillon, he's gone. The knockout punch, you're looking at it. 65 yards.
And they're back to throw as the blitz is on. Goes long, intended for Collinsworth. He has it down to the 20. Touchdown. And Chris Collinsworth.
Throwing the long ball. Deep down the field. Trent Johnson's coming. Touchdown. Cincinnati.
Look at Chase go. Oh my goodness, what a gear he just found. Chase for the touchdown. Wow, Chase is on the case.
It is no fluke. It is a fact. The Cincinnati Bengals are headed to Super Bowl 56. The play clock at 3. Shotgun snap. Carr throws into traffic. Intercepted. Jermaine Pratt has the football.
Yeah.
Coffin nails.
Bam, bam, bam. How about that?
Craig Sandlin, Jacob Tissett here for your post-game show. And Craig, I thought we were going to get a win today. An 0-2 start for the Bengals means 2 sad post-game shows for us here at Chatterbox Bengals. Thought it would turn around and couldn't have been more wrong. I wish I had a little bit more energy for you, but I'm out. I'm tapped out, and I really could not be lower right now. I know if you tuned in for the whole game watch along stream, we certainly appreciate it. Thanks for sticking around for the post game show. Make sure to like the stream, get interactive in the chat. If you have any questions, put them in there. We'll make sure we get to them before we get out of here tonight. But I would ask you how you're doing, like I do every show, but I think that would be a useless question at this point.
Look, the Bengals came into today with a very clear expectation. Today was a must-win. 3 of the next 4 were must-wins.
Yeah.
And quite frankly, there was no excuse for them not to be coming out of this stretch 3-3. And instead, what happens? They allow a rookie quarterback to go 21 of 23 for 254 yards and 2 touchdowns. That same rookie quarterback rushes 12 times for 39 yards and a touchdown. And it just absolutely falls apart, and they fall to 0-3. And I heard you say it on the live stream during the game, but this is not familiar territory for the Bengals. They've had slow starts before, without a doubt. But the thing that's alarming to me, I think more than anything, is that 2 of the 3 games are losses to teams you have zero business losing to, and quite frankly, zero business even being in a competition with, let alone losing. The plan on defense was quite clear from the very start, and that was they were going to make Jaden Daniels beat them. The run game was something that we talked about coming into the game this week, about how we needed to shut down Brian Robinson, Austin Eckler, and quite frankly, the Bengals defense did that.
Yeah.
But Lou Anarumo, who has built a name for himself off of second-half adjustments over the course of the last 6 years, did absolutely nothing in this game to make those adjustments that were necessary. And instead, 0 punts for the Washington Commanders today, 38 points on the board, and the Bengals fall to 0-3.
I said it on the stream, and I'll say it again here. I said before the game that if we make Jaden Daniels throw the ball, we're going to be able to win. And boy, oh boy, do I look silly. 21 of 23, like you said, for over 250 yards. And he had a 91% completion percentage, which is a rookie record. One of the best outings we've ever seen from a rookie quarterback when it comes to efficiency and productivity. No punts. The only drive that they didn't score on is a drive they take a knee. I mean, just an unbelievably bad showing for this defense. And I thought in week 2 against the Chiefs, I thought we took a step and we looked like a much better team, and we did. That wasn't a dream. We played the Chiefs to the last play of the game, a team that's the bona fide number 1 team in the league. No matter where you look, no matter who you talk to, we play them to the last play of the game, and then you get ran off the field. I don't know how else to phrase it other than getting ran off the field by the Commanders. I mean, that score 33-38, not even remotely representative of how this game went. The entire time from after that Jamar Chase bomb until the final whistle of the game, the first Jamar Chase bomb, until the final whistle of the game, the Bengals never had control. That first play, that touchdown to Jamar Chase, you felt good. You thought the offense might be back. My reaction was, it was completely genuine. It's exactly what I wanted to see. I thought this team, all they needed was to get Jamar Chase rolling and Joe Burrow going, and 33 points on offense, it certainly looks great, but when your defense is going to allow 38, that's not a recipe for success in the NFL. Saw chatters the whole day saying this defense isn't good, but if we can score 30, it's okay. Well, maybe it's not. How bad is this defense really? Because through 3 weeks, it looks even worse than our wildest nightmares. We knew the running game or the run defense was going to be a struggle after losing DJ Reader and trying to have 2 rookies really fill that slot. We knew the secondary was going to be tough with a new corner in Dax Hill, Cam Taylor-Britt taking on more responsibilities as the number 1, a new safety duo, Von Bell, Geno Stone. Guys we expected a lot out of, but a lot of new bodies out there. We knew there would be some growing pains in the defense. I had more faith in Lou Anarumo getting this group ready to go, getting this group ready to attack, and they certainly haven't been so far. I thought a lot of those guys were going to step into roles more seamlessly right away, be more plug-and-play guys. Dax Hill struggled. He looked good against Kansas City, but the first half against the Patriots, and then this whole game, really, he struggled. No one can tackle on the defensive side of the ball. I don't know what the silver lining is anymore at this point for the defense, because there's not a whole lot that I can point to and say, yeah, we're going to get better. We're going to get competitive here. This defense isn't going to be a joke all year long, but the more and more I watch this defense, the more and more it seems like this is just who we are. We don't have the pieces to be a good defense. And at some point, I worry about the long-term solutions for that side of the ball, because I'm not going to put a nail in the coffin for this season at 0-3. We have Joe Burrow at quarterback and a lot of playmakers on both sides of the ball that I think we can claw back and still make this an exciting season. But when we're talking about the ultimate goal of winning a Super Bowl, this defense is so far away from being good enough to do so.
Look, there's so many things that I want to say. It's just so frustrating, right? I mean, here's the thing, right? Is that the first 2 weeks, one of the things that the Bengals at least seemingly did a little better was pressure the quarterback. And tonight it didn't feel like they really got a ton of pressure on Jaden Daniels. And when they did, they had such poor zone alignment and such poor whatever I'm trying to say. They didn't stay home, right? So the minute that they start to get pressure,
bad discipline,
wide open, terrible discipline. So as soon as they start to get pressure, big wide open gaps for Daniels to run through, and he gashed them several times for big pickups because of it. And it's just, and look, I'm not going to get too deep into blaming specific players too early, but Trey Hendrickson was a guy who after 2 weeks we thought could be a cornerstone of this defense. Tonight didn't really do a whole lot. Finally did pick up a sack there late in the fourth quarter. But just in general, this entire defense didn't really get a whole lot of pressure on Jaden Daniels, and the few times that they did, left it wide open for him to gash them. It was interesting. They pulled it up on the broadcast at one point, and I'm excited to see, not excited, but interested to see what the final stat line was. But when the Bengals didn't blitz Jaden Daniels, he was 9 for 9 at one point. And the fact that it felt like they picked it up a little bit towards the end of the game when maybe they thought the Commanders were going to run the ball a bit more or whatever. But like, even when they did bring 6 towards the end of the game, it just never got home. And it just terrible pass rushing. You allow a guy in Zach Ertz to beat you multiple times towards the end of the game in what was very predictable scenarios. and the dagger, that 27-yard touchdown to Terry McLaurin, the announcers literally told you what they were going to do before they ran the play.
Yeah.
Third and whatever it was. I have it written down. Hold on. Let me pull it up.
We do have a super chat while you're pulling that up. BearPod
Yeah,
199 says, Bengals fans, tears keep me young. Thanks for watching. We appreciate it, whether you're a hater or a fan. Make sure you like the stream while you're in here. It means a lot for everyone tuning in.
Yeah, so Zach Ertz picks up a first down. He picks up 9. The defense gives him a huge cushion. 1st and 10, Robinson for 1. 2nd and 9, Robinson for 2. Announcers literally come out and they say, watch for a shot play. It's 3rd and 7. They're in field goal range at the 27-yard line. They have nothing to lose here at this point. Watch out for the shot play. You've got one-on-one defense on the outside. And what happens? Dax Hill bites on a double move, gets burned by Terry McLaurin, dagger to the hearts in a moment where I think a lot of Bengals fans were holding out hope. Oh, we can come back. We can make this happen. No, didn't happen. Commanders pull ahead. Touchdown Terry McLaurin. Bengals left with their tail between their legs yet again. And here we are yet again talking about the defense not living up to expectations. And quite frankly, just maybe a better way to put it is they were living up to exactly the expectations we had for them, which was very little.
That's the sad thing at this point is, what do we expect from the defense? Do we expect something better than this? Because at some point, you just are who you are. And through 3 weeks of the season, the Bengals defense is a defense that can't cover and can't tackle. And I don't really know what else you ask defenders to do other than those two things. The Bengals had the Commanders backed up all the way at a 2nd and 21 with a chance to get the ball back. Jaden Daniels gets a short pass out to the flat, and De'Ami Brown makes about 5 guys miss. And then on 3rd and 12, Jaden Daniels throws for another 8-yard pass and then converts a 4th down. You finally get the Commanders behind the sticks in a must-win situation, and you can't get the job done. Everyone in the chat, and all due respect to our chat, I know we're all ball knowers. I know our fans are great. But if you guys know what the Commanders are going to do, I hope Lou Anarumo and the Bengals know what the Commanders are going to do. He's an NFL defensive coordinator. He should be able to see these things coming if all of us can see it coming. And as the Commanders lined up for a 4th down snap, the entire chat is, hey, let's put someone on Jaden Daniels. They're going to run a read option here. He's a great scrambling quarterback. Let's put something on Jaden Daniels. And Jaden Daniels is able to squeeze through and run for a 1st down. It's unacceptable. How do we not know what's going on? How do we not defend against a guy who was perfect against the blitz? Obviously perfect against almost everything with a 91% completion percentage. But perfect against the blitz. And you just let him sit back there more often than not? This pass rush is a massive problem. And we're going to get to it in a few things on the ticker. I want to touch on something positive here real quick. Just try to get a little bit of excitement back. But, man, this team's roster construction is becoming a real problem. But before we get into all that, let's take the one positive note from today's game. And it is a big positive. Through 2 weeks, Joe Burrow looked all right against the Chiefs, but certainly not all the way to the Joe Burrow we know and love. Jamar Chase has been dragging, to say the least, through 2 weeks of the season. And today, they both looked back to form. Obviously, Burrow, a lot of garbage time yards there with that last touchdown drive with the Zach Moss carry to cap it off. But he finishes with 324 yards, 3 touchdowns, and Jamar Chase has a great day as well. Joe Burrow, 29 of 38 for 324 yards and 3 touchdowns. Jamar Chase, 6 catches, over 100 yards for the first time in the season, 2 touchdowns for him. Andre Yoshivas doing a little bit more than just being a red zone threat, 5 catches, 52 yards, and a touchdown. But a really great thing was the running game taking a big step today. Zach Moss, 12 carries, 58 yards, and a touchdown. Chase Brown being the true lightning to that thunder with 7 carries for 62 yards. I liked a lot of what I saw out of the offense, but the most encouraging thing for the long stretch of the season is 9-1 is back. 9-1 is back. And when you needed it most, they did it twice. And I know the Bengals didn't get out of here with a win, and that's the thing we all focus on right now, and that's certainly what I'm focusing on. But trying to take some silver linings here. You open the game with a shot play, you convert it. That gets the juices flowing. You knew you needed to get Jamar Chase the ball. You threw it to him 3 times on the opening drive. That's exactly what the Bengals offense needed to do, and they recognized how important it was to get their star players rolling early, and they did that. And then at the end of the game, when you need a touchdown to keep it close, you find Jamar Chase again. That's the reassuring thing about this Bengals team and what we've come to know for the last few years is that when our backs are against the wall, 9's going to find one and we're going to be okay. And today, at least for a point on offense, that was the case. And that was great to see. And the rest of the offense really did step up as well. But those two, looking back to that all-pro form that we know and expect and quite honestly need from both of them to be a competitive team, was very refreshing.
Well, let's talk about why that was. I don't think that Jamar Chase was necessarily down the first 2 weeks. I don't think Joe Burrow was necessarily that bad the first 2 weeks. What was happening was that Jamar Chase was getting absolutely blanketed and double teamed all the time. And what needed to happen was T. Higgins needed to come back, and that's what happened. T. Higgins finishes the day with 3 catches for 39 yards, but I think his value was felt beyond that. Obviously, Jamar Chase being able to break open 6 for 118, largely due in part to T. Higgins being back on and drawing attention of the defense. I think additionally, Andre Yoshivas settling back into that third wide receiver role, going 5 for 52 with a touchdown. He looked much better today, and a role that really fits him a little bit better, where he doesn't have to be a go-to guy, and he can be that guy that is able to fill the role as the number 3 wide receiver. His long catch of the day was only 16 yards. It's all it needed to be.
Yeah.
But what he did was run really nice routes. They're showing it on TV right now on ABC 9, WCPO, no free ads. That little fake in and then out on the goal line for that touchdown that he ran was really nice route. And quite frankly, when he's able to have that and they don't have defenses keying in on him because guys like T. Higgins are back in the lineup, it opens this offense up a whole lot more. Now, I know one thing that you're going to want to talk about related to the receiving core. In the first half, Jermaine Burton gets 2 snaps, runs 2 routes, and that's about it. We didn't really see much out of him today. Right. I'm not really sure what to expect from him out of the gate or moving forward. Trent Irwin, a healthy inactive today, that left Jermaine Burton on the active roster, ends up without a target on the day. So, look, Jamar Chase, great to see him productive again. My fantasy team really appreciates it. Yeah. I know that's what everybody cares about in this scenario. But look, I think ultimately it comes down to this is a team that when it is fully healthy and has all of its weapons available to it, can and should be a team that puts up 30 points a game. That part I don't think was ever really a question.
Yeah.
And ultimately the question now turns to, okay, your offense is back on track, but you just allowed the Commanders to put up 38 on you. So what's next, right? And I don't know that that's Lou Anarumo. I don't know that that's Zach Taylor. But somewhere the accountability has to come in. I just got done doing a podcast this afternoon with Nick Kirby about the Cincinnati Reds and their managerial search. I sure hope that I'm not the bad luck charm. I hope that I don't join a Chatterbox regular show and become the bringer of all negative. Call me the Grim Reaper, and all of a sudden the coaching staff has to be looked at in terms of whether or not they can be a long-term solution. I don't want to be part of that. I'll quit the show if it really comes down to it. But look, I think there has to be serious questions at this point about what is next for this coaching staff and how do we bounce back? Because if you allow Jaden Daniels to pick you apart for 21 for 23 and 12 rushes for 39 yards, I'm really nervous to see what happens when they face off against Lamar Jackson in 2 weeks.
Yeah, that's what I keep coming back to. If you can't beat the Patriots and the Commanders, who can you beat? And I hate to, dwindle the NFL down to that basic of a talking point, but these are two teams that were projected to be at the bottom of the league. And I understand that Jaden Daniels put together a great game, and I think he's going to be a great quarterback in the future in this league, but he's not right now. He didn't score a touchdown last week against the Giants, who were supposed to be picking number 1 in the draft. They held him to 7 field goals, and the Bengals defense was nowhere close to getting a stop. And at some point, I know we can keep sitting here and talking about the players and the personnel, and we'll even get into it again in the next topic, but I put coaching staff on the ticker for a reason, and it's because the entire game, the chat was just banging the table, saying that there's no one else to blame but the coaching staff. And at some point, I have to side with him. I know I'm a big Zach Taylor guy. I have faith in him, and I am incredibly appreciative to what he's done for this Bengals franchise. He has more playoff wins than any head coach that I've ever seen. coach this team and more playoff wins than anyone's ever seen. Any head coach anyone's ever seen coach this team. So he's a guy that's brought this Bengals team to new levels that we haven't seen in a long time. And I know a lot of that's because of Joe Burrow, if not all of it is because of Joe Burrow. I remember how hot his seat was before Joe Burrow got here and turned this franchise around, but you can't do it alone. And I think Zach does deserve some credit for where this team has gotten to. But at some point, these slow starts are his fault. I don't know who else to blame because there's only one guy in charge of the offseason program. There's only one guy whose job title it is to get the guys ready to play. And these guys have not looked ready to play in the first month of the season in a long time.
Well, look, I don't know what the answer is yet. I'm past the slow start though. I'm past the slow start. And Reed put it in the chat. I don't remember off the top of my head a team with such an elite offense and such a terrible defense.
Yeah.
And there was room in the salary cap for them to address this defense. And there were very clear needs that needed to be addressed with this defense. And yet the Bengals chose not to do that. And so ultimately, while I have a lot of anger towards Lou Anarumo right now, while I have some anger towards Zach Taylor right now, ultimately, I've got a lot of anger towards Duke Tobin.
Yeah.
And I realize that he's not out there playing. I realize that he can only put together the squad that he has available to him. But at the end of the day, this defense coming into this season, we knew there was deficiencies on the defensive line.
That's right.
We knew there was deficiencies in the secondary, and they did nothing to address either one of those. They brought in Sheldon Rankins. I'll give them a little bit of credit for that. But we knew Sheldon Rankins wasn't the run-stopping defensive tackle, that nose tackle that we needed. And so here we are now where this team is up against the wall at sitting at 0-3 because this defense can't hold the Washington Commanders to under 33 points. They can't force a single punt. They force one field goal the entire game. And yes, again, Zach Taylor's got to take some of the blame. Lou Anarumo's got to take some of the blame. The players have to take a lot of the blame. They have to step up and make a stop. They had so many opportunities where it felt like, again, you mentioned the 2nd and 21 backed up in their own territory. But when it comes down to it, and I keep playing it over and over and over in my head, I just keep coming back to Duke Tobin. And it's unfortunate because I think that Duke Tobin and Zach Taylor have drafted extremely well.
Yeah.
And I think they've made some really good moves. It just never feels like they make the offseason move to really put them over the hump. And that's the frustrating part for me. And it feels reminiscent of the Reds, if I'm being honest.
Yeah.
The Reds had a lot of really good young pieces. They draft pretty well. They develop talent. They're maybe a piece or two away from really being a contender, and they just don't make the move. They go out and sign Jamer Candelario to be their star player. And just like that, the Bengals signed Sheldon Rankins to be their key offseason addition, and it just doesn't feel big enough. And I don't know how that changes. I don't know if it comes back to Mike Brown. I don't know if it falls on Duke Tobin. I don't know if Zach Taylor just isn't advocating for it. But at the end of the day, the roster just isn't there defensively. They focused a lot on the offense, rightfully so. But this team cannot and will not compete to get back to the Super Bowl if they don't address this defense.
Yeah, and I see a lot of people in the chat banging the table right now saying you got to blame the players. The GM and DC aren't the ones missing tackles, and I get that that's fair, but when we're sitting here before the season on cut day talking about how we're worried about the personnel on this defense, how does the front office not recognize that this could possibly be a problem? Because they didn't do anything to address it. We see guys get hurt in week 2, and they go out and sign Lawrence Guy, who is probably the best one available, and he's out there. I can't wait for the snap count numbers to come out. He was out there a ton tonight. He got there in the beginning of the week. Like, we're forced to run every single body we have in the trenches out there now. And with Trent Brown hurt, there's no wiggle room at tackle anymore, injury-wise. We have no backups at tackle. Amarius Mims, the guy who struggled with injuries his entire career, now has to be healthy for 15 games or so. I don't know. I really don't know what the plan was if we faced any injuries because we've seen that the defensive backfield depth is struggling. Jordan Battle obviously not good enough to get a whole lot of reps, so if a safety goes down, what are we going to do there? The corners have struggled. Dax Hill has struggled mightily, so if DJ Turner's not good enough to take that spot, what happens if one of him or Cam Taylor-Britt gets hurt? A lot of people really sour on the linebackers. The D-line is already banged up. We're down to the bottom of the barrel there, depth-wise. I mean, there's just no way up for this defense that I can see, other than a few guys taking massive steps. And we need guys on the offensive side of the ball to take steps too. I mean, Amarius Mims is going to have to be a lockdown right tackle right away, because we're going to need him to be. I mean, Trent Brown's been a hole in this offensive line through 2 weeks, and hopefully Mims can slide in and be ready to go right away. But as a rookie starting his first game tonight, he allowed a sack and had a penalty. So, I mean, you can't necessarily expect him to be an all-pro right away, even though I still have a lot of faith in him long-term. But this team's in a really, really tough spot. Before we talk about just how tough that spot is, I know we talked about
just
the
real
box
quick
score.
before, hold on, real quick,
Yeah.
real quick. I just want to say one more thing about the roster construction, and this is, again, goes to the difficulties that I'm having with it, and I think it goes back to a little bit of a lack of trust in the front office,
Right,
in the way that they've handled the draft moving forward. But after this season, you are likely to lose T. Higgins.
Yep.
And so the question becomes, we don't feel like Andre Yoshivas is ready to slide into that number 2 wide receiver. Hasn't necessarily shown that over the first 2 weeks. Looked better today, but again, he looked good in that third receiver role, which you've talked about before. It's a lot easier to make that jump from third to second than it is from second to first than it is from third to second. It just doesn't feel like he's ready. And so now I'm worried, okay, we're going to get through this year. T. Higgins is going to leave in free agency. And then the Bengals are yet again going to focus on offense in the draft, and the defense is yet again going to be left behind.
Yep.
And so it just feels a little bit like a never-ending cycle to me. And so that's a little bit of a concern moving forward. And I want to real quick before we move forward, we've got over 300 people watching at 11:30 at night, Eastern time. I just want to take a second and say I appreciate every single one of you for being here.
No
Appreciate all of the Chatterbox partners who enable a show like this to exist. We do it for you guys. Obviously, you see Jacob's emotions throughout the game. We really do care, and we want this team to succeed. And we appreciate you being here. Having 300 plus people watching on a night like tonight makes it a little bit more palatable to have to do a show like this.
That's right.
And then to bounce back and do another show tomorrow.
That's
where
right.
We break down film and really dive in a little bit more. We just really appreciate you. Make sure you tune in tomorrow. We'll be live at 6 p.m. Eastern time, breaking down some video and some film, going a little bit deeper into this Bengals loss. So appreciate you all. Now let's talk about what's next.
This is a lot of negative on the roster construction, and I do just want to touch on one little positive with the roster so far, and that today was the run game. Through the first 2 weeks, I know Mixon had a crazy game week 1 in Houston, and a lot of people were really loud saying the Bengals made a mistake letting Mixon go and attacking this backfield with Zach Moss and Chase Brown. Well, today it looked great. Zach Moss, 7 carries for 62 yards, or 12 carries for 58 yards and a touchdown. Chase Brown over 8.5 yards per carry, almost 9 on 7 touches. That's a perfect Thunder and Lightning backfield. And we saw it today, how they were able to mash up together and really be a great change of pace against this Commanders defense. The Bengals were able to run at a rate that we haven't seen in a long time. 20 carries for 124 yards and a touchdown is not a stat line we've become accustomed to by this Bengals offense when it comes to running the football. We've ran the football under 20 times, more than I can ever imagine in my life in this current Joe Burrow era. It just seems like something that we're not committed to. And as of today, it seems like we have 2 backs that A, we trust and believe in getting the job done, and B, actually do so. Because it's one thing to trust guys and give them the ball, and it's another thing for them to actually execute on those carries. And today, Zach Moss and Chase Brown did so. I know the offense, it scored 33 points, and we're not going to talk about how good they looked because it's all on the defense and it's all on the loss, and that's just how it works out. And tomorrow when we have clearer heads and get a night of sleep and we can really wallow in this pain, maybe we'll be able to find a few more bright spots. But one that I saw tonight was the run game, because it's something I was concerned about with 2 guys that have never had bell cow roles. We're still finding a way to not give either a true number 1 running back set, which I think is the best way for us to succeed running the football. I really like this backfield, and they showed me today that they can really get it done. But that's really the only positive. Obviously Burrow looked good, but That the running game really did.
Yeah, I felt like the offensive line, for the most part, did pretty well. I mean, you talked about the run game opening up holes there. I can only really remember one, maybe two plays where the running backs were even met in the backfield. For the most part, it felt like they were gaining a couple of yards before they ever got contacted. Joe Burrow on a lot of plays felt like he had a lot of time to get the ball away. Only ended up sacked twice, which, again, we don't want him to be sacked at all, but sacked twice compared to what we've experienced in the past for this offensive line. I feel like the offensive line in general performed pretty well and probably deserves a little bit of a shout out, especially with Trent Brown going down. And I don't know that I've seen an update yet on that, but Trent Brown left in the Bengals' third drive. He was declared out pretty quickly with a knee injury. I don't know for sure what happened there. I've seen some videos and some potential X.com doctors weigh in. I'm not going to do that. If you really care, if you go on Twitter and search for Trent Brown's name, you'll see plenty of videos and explanations of what may or may not have happened. But ultimately, the replays show that it did appear to be a non-contact injury. So Amarius Mims able to slide in today. You mentioned did give up the one sack and the one penalty. But in general, for somebody's first appearance and being thrown into the scenario that he wasn't necessarily expecting, in general, without watching the film, I feel decent about Amarius Mims' performance today. But we talked about this on cut day. Your tackle depth chart began and ended with the Browns and Amarius Mims. And so now if Brown is out for any sort of extended period of time, Cody Ford becomes your backup tackle?
Yeah.
Question mark?
Yeah.
I don't know. So we saw the Lawrence Guy signing, and be ready for an offensive lineman signing as well, because initial indications were not positive on Trent Brown.
Talked about it at the beginning of the show. I saw a lot of people with the same sentiment after the game, that the Bengals have been here before. The slow starts are a thing that we've battled back through, and I just want to take another moment to pound home that this is not true. This is not a place that the Bengals have been before. 0-3 in a hole looking like this on the defensive side of the football is not something we have battled back from before. It's not something that I necessarily have faith that we can battle back from. Will we still be a fringe playoff team? Can we still fight for the North? Sure, maybe. That's great. This defense needs to take such massive, massive steps for us to be competitive that this hole is so much deeper than 0-3. This hole is so much deeper than 0-3. It's organizationally deep. It's roster built deep. And there needs to be some massive, massive changes in order for this team to have a chance this year or any year in the future. And I'm not talking about just roster changes like we talked about a few minutes ago. I'm talking about organizational philosophy changes. Because if we could point to one thing, maybe we're 1-2 right now if Jamar Chase is extended and he doesn't have that blow up against the Chiefs and he's happy and he goes through an offseason. Maybe the offense starts hot against the Patriots if you can nullify some of those offseason, distractions that happened throughout the season. And then we're not nearly as tore up talking about being in the basement of the AFC after a loss to the Commanders. You force yourself to have to win every game from here. You literally force yourself to have to win every game. And it's sad. It's really sad because Bengals fans deserve better. And at the end of the day, we thought going into this season we were going to have a competitive team that was going to fight for a Super Bowl. And through 3 weeks, it couldn't look further from that. And honestly, at the end of the day, who I feel worse for is Bengal fans because we've waited our entire life for a competitive chance. And as of right now, we're not getting it this year. We have to wait another year. So hopefully something can change. Craig, before we wrap it up, we're going to get out of here
real
early
quick.
tonight.
Just look, here's the bad news is that since 1990, only 4 teams of 162 that started 0-3, 2.5%, have gone on to make the playoffs.
Yep.
In total, ever, there have only been 6 ever to do it. And one of those was a strike shortened season where they didn't play the full season. So 5 essentially.
Yeah.
Only 1 team has done it since 2000. And so, look, you may sit here and you may say, oh, we've been here before, or, oh, we can come back from this. The odds don't say that.
Right.
Now, I'm not going to sit here and act like the Bengals can't be that. The 2018 Texans were the last team to do it. They ended 11-5 and won the AFC South. But we all remember how putrid the AFC South was in the late 2010s. They were terrible. Unfortunately, the Bengals don't have a division where they can easily go 6-0 and rack up wins within the division. The Steelers are sitting at 3-0. The Ravens picked up a win this weekend against the Cowboys. Like, I don't know what to tell you. The Browns are the Browns. As Casey will tell you, the Browns stink.
And they have a win.
And they have a win.
Like,
so look, you're sitting in the cellar of the AFC North at 0-3, and you've got 3 teams sitting above you who, quite frankly, if you face them today, I don't feel good about any of the matchups. I really don't. And when you have a defense who can't stop a run, can't stop a mobile quarterback, can't win one-on-one matchups on the outside against aging receivers and Terry McLaurin. No offense to Terry, Ohio State Buckeye, whatever. I'm sure a lot of people in the chat love him. But he shouldn't be burning you for 2 deep touchdowns. Shouldn't be happening. So I like all of you, want to hold out hope. I really, really do. I came into this season with extremely high expectations for this team. Those expectations have quickly gone away. This isn't a 162-game baseball season where you can afford a slow start.
Yeah.
The Reds got done in by a slow May. I hate to break it to you, but regardless of how things go, the Bengals very well may have been done in by a very slow start to September.
Trace Fowler comes in with some maybe half-hearted encouragement, but we'll take any encouragement we can get at this point. He says, just 1 game behind the Ravens and Pittsburgh is frauds. You can still win the division. It's a wonderful mindset. Maybe I'll be there tomorrow, but not where I'm at right now. Speaking of tomorrow, I know it's 11:40 on the East Coast, about to be midnight, but that doesn't change anything for us. Tuesday night, 6 p.m., just coming up. Tomorrow, we're going to have a full in-depth Chatterbox Bengals breakdown on Tuesday night, breaking down this game, breaking down the film, talking about what went wrong, what little went right, and trying to find some silver linings for this Bengals team as we go into week 4 against the Panthers, Andy Dalton, and another team that's supposed to be at the bottom of the league, but at this point, I'm not so sure the Bengals aren't as well. So no easy wins on the schedule by any means starting now if we didn't start after week 1. And if this game wasn't a must-win, then I don't know what next week is. Because if you start 0-4, then you could not be more dead. So next week, tomorrow, Chatterbox Bengals, 6 p.m. Tuesday night. We're going to break down this game, have all the film for you, and talk about everything going on there. And then on Thursday, we're going to turn the page and look ahead to the Panthers. One of these days, I'm going to be here on a Sunday night, Monday night, not talking about turning the page. I'm going to talk about celebrating a win, relishing in a good game, but that day is not today. 38-33 final. The Commanders come into Cincinnati, get the win on Monday Night Football. The Bengals started slow in years past, but this hole much deeper than they've ever been in. 0-3 to start this season. Losses to the Patriots and Commanders at home. Lost in Kansas City to Patrick Mahomes and the Chiefs last weekend. We got to change something fast if we want to stay competitive, because you are barely treading water. If anything, you might be drowning now. So we'll be back tomorrow, breaking it all down. Hopefully have a little bit more energy and a little bit more excitement for you guys. Craig, if you want to say any last words before we get out of here, I'm going to try to clear my head a little bit.
Here's your last thoughts. For those of you that think next week's going to be easy, you're going up against Andy Dalton in a revenge game. He just went 26 of 37 for 319 yards and 3 touchdowns. Oh, by the way, Deontay Johnson, who's a Bengals killer, is on that team. He went 8 for 122 and a touchdown. Oh, by the way, if you think, okay, well, we'll just play a lot of zone or double up on Deontay, Chuba Hubbard went 21 for 114, a 5.4 yard per cap average on that one. I know the Raiders aren't good, but I hate to break it to you, neither are the Bengals.
Yeah, and more bad news. If you think our pass rush has been bad so far, how about the Panthers having the second best pass block win rate so far for an O-line? So Andy Dalton's probably going to have all day back there. Certainly not a chalked up easy win, but just a reminder, tomorrow, 6 p.m., we'll break down the film from this game, and then Thursday at 7, we'll preview that Panthers matchup. For Jacob Tissett here taking you through the game, Craig Sandlin joining me for the postgame. That'll do it for week 3. All right. One more.
I've got one more stat that I just saw on X.com. And
positive or negative?
Listen, terrible.
Oh no.
Since 1920, teams with 0 turnovers, 0 punts, and at least 33 points scored were 112-0 coming into tonight. Bengals add a 1 to the L column on that one. Unreal effort tonight out of that defense. Let me tell you what.
Talk about vintage Bengals. Adding a 1 to a record that no one's ever lost with before. A collection of stats no one's ever lost with before. That's vintage right there. I think that stat is a perfect summation of tonight. Monday Night Football certainly wish the Bengals would be able to get back on track on Ring of Honor night. That not the case, like Craig just said. A historic loss on a great night for the offense. That's going to do it for Chatterbox Bengals postgame. Jacob Tissett, Craig Sandlin here taking you through it. We'll see you again tomorrow night at 6 p.m.